cab is going down. It's getting melted by the buildings here. The longbows are still standing and doing damage.
Does he have enough steam though?
There's not enough
running out though.
Yeah.
Ethan Bowman, 1.5 fire rate once again, coming up truck, being king here, and just even though
drag boxing the Naginatas forward, the Coyotes are trying to move, and the Atolan, he drag boxed the wrong direction, and now the Atolans are getting snared by
my
the.
God.
Oh my
Nagis
goodness!
are shredding this right now, and it doesn't look like he's got.
Plus 11s.
I don't see any of the pikes. Where's the pikes on this fight? The Nagis are just cleaning this entire mass up. Coyotes are falling. You got the Ashes getting buffed by the Dynamo. They've got Ashy attacking. They're absolutely shredding everything here. Yumi don't even need to micro this at this point.
He's gonna have to sack off his Ruskets. He has to come in melee here.
Yes.
I don't think he can continue keep microing. Well, he's gonna try, wait for reinforcements and try to make it to his blockhouses. The question is, how much damage will he gonna be taking? This is nice micro from Ungers, but you know, the Atontons just have to attack move here. And 1.5 fire rate, they do have staff animation. And the Tontons are absolutely insane. But he has drawn him into the double blockhouse. Now fighting under the double blockhouse. The question is it going to be
Muskets are a little behind here. The Cossacks are now getting snared by the Pumas and the Coyotes. The Explorer is now in with the triple XP tech. Some warriors are mixing. The Atolan's doing absolutely insane amount of damage. He's on plus 36%. Look at him on the attack. That's plus 36%. And he's just
Coyotes on the Strelets.
Blockhouses are actually doing decent damage here. The Coyotes are kind of going down. The Spears are now trying to move in towards the front, and it's actually a decent fight, I think, for Tabin.
Pretty good fight for Tabin, but you know, there's not very many Cossacks. He's letting a lot of these Coyotes and Pumas kind of shred his Strelets a bit. Finally getting his Cossacks where they want to be on the Slingers, and gonna be cleaning up.
Here, the ESOCs are out of position. The Carolinians as well, and the ESOCs are gonna go up top. Oh, the tree carrying here. The tree is for Sweden, and there you go. We can see some damage here. The ESOCs, all the ESOCs are dead. That's quite a lot of mass. The ESOCs coming back from their raid. Nah, va GG. Optimus, his mass is getting completely clean. With the ESOCs, that's gonna be a big snare right there, and there is no way those Carolinians are gonna come out alive.
Maybe should be able to swing this water fight. Yeah, it's so the micro here is so intense. Get in, get back in. Will the Yumi have a chance to snipe him? Look at the ship is at 62 HP.
Oh! Frontline with the god.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Hello, boys. All right, we're back.
Welcome back, boys. We got Mr. Shake here. Harrison is not ready yet because the series was so fast, but don't worry, we got a little replacement, a little bit big replacement, and exciting to see you here again, Shake. You took my virginity last time. Now we're gonna go back to Carbone. How do you feel about his chances here?
All right, so when we're observing this series, right, I feel like skill-wise, both of these players aren't really far apart from each other. Chefsudiste is a player that, in my opinion, is really, really good. Like, he gets underrated quite often. People sleep on him. They call him a port bot. But in my opinion, I really, really believe that Chefsudiste is a very, very mechanically sound, solid player. Like,
He's a top 8. He's a top 8 at this point.
He doesn't get overwhelmed often. I've very rarely ever seen him lose to an underdog in a series either. If you're Carbone today, do I believe Carbone can beat Chef? Yes. But will he have to play immaculate by his standards to beat Chefsudiste today? Also yes. So this is honestly the series I am most excited for so far out of every series that has been casted, excuse me, so far.
Yeah, man. I'm also wondering. Lionheart is laughing in the comments, but look at the Free Food Party, man. I see rank 8 Chefsudiste, so rank 8 is rank 8 in my mind. The numbers don't lie, and we'll see if he can prove that he is a solid player here. But yeah, look at his stats, man. He's number 6 in the team. He's number 6 in the 3v3, number 18 in the 2v2. So I mean, that's top 10 player, if you ask me, if you ask the stats.
If we're judging it
However,
based off the ladder, he is. Definitely he is. And
yeah.
I will note one thing just before the match starts, because the players have already started. Let's go over the civs in question right now. Carbone has an edge. Port is a civ that heavily struggles with Germany. They struggle with that early H3 tempo. Germany is also a civ that does not have to make units in H2, cav units to raid Port. You can raid with your free Ulans. And in H3, that Ulan, Warwagon, Skirm comp is very, very difficult for Port to handle. The organs aren't as effective against Germany because of the larger amounts of cav, and the eco of Port only scales and starts out booming Germany at around minute 13, 14. So Germany has a lot of time to make some damage happen here, and Carbone is a good player. As I said, also very mechanically sound. One of the future pros, in my opinion, Carbone is a player that really we should look at, to replace some of the top players in the future. And I'm excited for this one. I really, really am. So let's jump right into it, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm also ready for it, but the game has not been found yet. They're playing a secret game. So hopefully we'll find the game soon.
Let me see with the players. Because I don't think they forgot to turn on spectator mode. Probably they forgot to turn off the 3-minute delay. So let's just check with the players really quickly. In the meanwhile, Manakiko, why don't you introduce us a bit to, the rest of the day and what the schedule brings ahead for the entire weekend.
Yeah, we're having a lot of games coming up today. We have, after this series, we have 2 more series. I'm just gonna find our schedule because I don't know it out of my head. But after this matchup, guys, we are having Mini Mold versus Soldier at 4 o'clock GMT. That should be in 3 hours from now. So hopefully this game will be a little bit more close than the last series. After that, we have only Bows versus Loans. And that's on 6 o'clock GMT. So we have 2 more series for you coming up today, and tomorrow we have my co-caster at this moment. He has to play his series, so I'm curious to see how you will do. But first we have Tabin versus Taco. So our first underdog is gonna play again. Shake, you have to play Brigadier, so I'm curious to see what will happen there. And then finally, to finish off the day, we have Ro32 versus Grogu. So a lot of juicy names, a lot of big games coming up, and I'm pretty excited about this tournament, man. It's a round of 32. We haven't seen the biggest names yet, but hey, man. The tournament just started and we already see some big names. So I'm gonna be fucking excited. And let's hope today let's hope this series is gonna be juicy as well. Chefsudiste versus Carbone. What is your expectation if you have to follow your gut feeling? I mean, if I follow the numbers, I think Chefsudiste has an edge here. He can take on Carbone. I feel like he's gonna win this, but he's not gonna be a clean. It's not gonna be a 4-0, I believe.
Just 1 second, Craft. If you can rather look not on ESOC lobby, but just look for all non-ranked games, because they probably got the name of the lobby wrong. That's what I think is going on. And then I will get right with you to Manakiko. By the way, chat, I love you all. Thank you all for being here, for watching this. I'm so excited to cast this, at least until Big Boy Harry is here. But yeah, we can't see the game as of right now.
Yeah,
I'll just let Craft do
I
his
see it
magic.
there. Spring
you can see
champs.
it? There we go, Spring Champs. I told you these guys are not the very brightest. They're French. Forgive them. It is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go. We're ready to pounce. Let's wait until we load into the game right now, and we will do a phenomenal overview for you guys. So Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ESOC Spring Championships round of 32, hosted by ESOC, casted by me, Shake 2020, with my co-caster, Big Boy Manakiko, and obviously our amazing producer Craft. Let's check out the Age 1s and what civs we have on this beautiful map of Great Plains, one of the most standard maps in the game, been here since the year of 2005. On the south side of the map, in the color red, we have Chefsudiste in the color red. Damn, is he a good port player? Does he make people hate his port? He makes them call him a bot. But you know, when people hate you, that means that you're doing something right. And on the north side of the map, we have one of our newest rising stars, one of our old Nilla players. If we can just look over to the German base, we have Mr. Carbone in the color blue. And wow, this is going to be a phenomenal first game. I'm telling you, this game is. A lot of people are probably going to expect, Chefsudiste to win with his port, but this is a counter pick. I know port is a civ that a lot of people don't want to play against. It's not as strong, in my opinion, as people like to say it is, but if sometime we have, an opportunity to realize the real strengths and weaknesses of civs, it's tournaments. And I think that Carbone has excellently blind picked for this game. What are your thoughts, Manakiko, on the map and on the matchup?
Honestly, I'm surprised that Chefsudiste started out with the sports. I really expected him to go to follow the last strategy, to pick ports on a hybrid map, to pick them on Ivory Coast. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that he started out with his main civilization. I mean, I know he loves to play Portuguese, but I felt like Osman's strategy was pretty good. In the meanwhile, we see Chefsudiste microing well, taking a nice treasure. He killed that wolf, and yeah, just like King of Osman, he starts with Feitoria. So do you think that's the best card to start with as Portuguese?
Right now it is, and for Sudiste, the start is absolutely awesome right now. He managed to find the 3 sheep. Very nice. A little bit of XP as well. Feitoria is opening. If we can just get a quick look at the German Explorer, see as well what the German Explorer has managed to get in Age 1, because arguably one of the civs that benefits the most from treasures in Age 1 is Germany. And there we go. He's going to stumble upon the best treasure in Age 1
That's
on this
the
map.
one. That is
110
the one.
food. That is an amazing treasure, especially for Germany. Just a shame that it comes a bit late, so it doesn't really.
And look
buff.
at Chefsudiste. He's getting close to that treasure. So is he going in for the steal?
Yes, he is going to. By the moment that he sees that coyote is going to go down, if he has a crack shot in him, he's going to be able to snipe that treasure. But he does not have a crack shot. There we go. He does now. But Carbone manages to go down first and get that treasure. Very well microed by Carbone. If we're going to look over to the other side, that should mean a free gang saw for Carbone. Yes, it is. It's
Instantly.
a free gang saw and a villager already in queue for Carbone. Very well played for him. Let's look at the German deck really quickly before we do anything else. What we're seeing here is Merc ADV. So we are going to see some mercenaries being made here by Germany. I don't know how much I like that. Can we hover over a villager of either one of those civs to see what we got in the saloon, as one of the players has paused right now? So we do have Comancheros, Renegados, Highlanders, Ninjas, and Stradiots. The Stradiots are very
I like
nice.
it, man.
The Stradiots are very nice.
Too.
Highlanders are kind of useless. They're kind of useless.
But Germany doesn't have access to musketeers, right? So now he has access if he wants them.
But you don't need them. You don't need them for Germany. Germany does not need musketeers, especially not against a civ that isn't going to pressure them in H2. And from H3 onwards, when you're going to go for Skirm, Warwagon, Ulan comps, musketeers are going to kind of be useless. But what's the positive aspect about Stradiots? Stradiots are 7.25 speed. So you can't really kite them with Dragoons because Stradiots have the same speed. And on top of that as well, not only do they perform amazingly against skirmishers and any other light infantry, they perform exceptionally well against Cassadors because of their relatively low HP and basically no melee damage. So mixed in with a couple of Ulans and potentially with a Bosniak shipment, Stradiots can be absolutely horrifying for Port to deal with. Chef will need to micro his heart out, but on second thought, Chefsudiste likes his Dragoons a lot, and I don't think I've ever seen him made a skirmisher when playing against Germany. So That is something that he is renowned for. He is a gooner, a very very heavy gooner, and he spams that button as if there's no tomorrow. Now, looking at the age of times right now, while both players are pausing, probably something happened. Someone went to tinkle for a sec. So this is almost up. He's aging up with, I suppose, the naturalist for the two vills and the two cows. That is his standard age up, what he usually does. Um, and it's going to give him a lot of eco tempo. We also see no market from him, but we see a transition TP, which I am used to see from Chefsudiste. So very nice. He is going to be able to afford the 700 coin and the 700 wood relatively quickly with almost a shipment in store for age 3. Now, here comes the question of the contention of the mid-map treasures, because in my opinion, those mid-map treasures, those XP treasures are going to be absolutely humongous, especially for Germany. If Germany manages to get a couple of these, or at least even one of these with the supporting Ulans, he is going to have so much tempo, and he's going to be able to get out so many units earlier on in H3. And that's really where Port is vulnerable. Port is very vulnerable early H3 to civs like Germany. Um, you really get outmassed quite early, and as Port, you don't really want to send military shipments ASAP, whereas with Germany, you don't mind because you've got settler wagons, you've got more vills earlier on than Port, and you've got all the market upgrades. Whereas with Port, that's not really the case very often when they do their regular FF builds. So I'm interested to see who will be able to take this first. Okay. There's no need. Don't worry about it. We can just play it regularly. They can wait for us next game. Crafty. All right. There. We're back. So, looking at the German Explorer, going to walk over probably to the mid-map TP. Nope. He's opting to go for an in-base TP, which I respect. I like it. He probably wants to build that mid-map TP if he eventually gets map control. You don't really want to lose your TP at any point in the game with Germany because you've got such a slow XP income. So in-base TP, excuse me, is going to be the safe pick. But if we can switch over to Germany really quickly, that TP is building very, very late. So we don't have a shipment ready yet for Germany, right? Before the age up. Hopefully for Carbone, he's going to have that shipment ready because you want those settler wagons ASAP. And there we go. The settler wagons are in. Herding hasn't been the best so far for Carbone, but he's working on it right now. And as I said again, Chefsudiste is not really a player that's going to raid you in H2. He's not going to be making a Hazard bet. You know exactly what to expect from his Portuguese. And with his age up, he has placed his second TC near his first TC, securing a hunt right there in the Portuguese base. So that is already looking good for him. Church going up as well for Germany right now for that extra XP. I suppose we're going to see a steel traps early if it has not already been researched from the market. No, but it will be researched quite soon after building that house, probably. He's going to try and macro a little bit for it. And if we switch over to the Portuguese side, I am almost 100% sure we already have the 700 coin on the floor being gathered. There we go. 2 mines, 2 hunts secured for Portugal. Loving life right now. Playing this very standard and very safe. What are your thoughts on this age 1 and early age 2 so far, Manakiko?
Yeah, we actually saw the early tavern going up at the Carbone space instead of the steel traps. So I believe, yeah, he's getting that gold trickle, and he's already making some outlaws, some comancheros. So not really going for a fast fortress build, but yeah, a semi-fast fortress with some outlaw plays. That's a little bit unexpected, right?
It is unexpected, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it because you can raid, obviously. You don't really want to go for a naked FF with Germany. Although he is floating a shipment. There we go. Palatine settlements is going to come in. It's going to allow his houses and TCs to absorb way more population.
He's
It's
using the
pretty
outlaws
difficult.
to take the treasures, so that's
There we
a
go.
big brain move.
Comanchero on Comanchero crime right there, ladies and gentlemen. And that treasure is going to be taken for Carbone, and we're seeing Palatine settlements coming in, and we're going to see the next shipment just going to be queued right after it. And that's what I've been saying for Germany. What's so important is that tempo and early momentum. And look at this, he's already a shipment and a half into his next shipment, while still having his prior shipment being sent. Carbone's still not queuing any villagers right now and still not shipping the shipment. probably focused on that Explorer right here. Almost finishing that Comanchero batch, and now shipping the 700 coin to Age Up. And very smartly by Carbone, he's going to go into the next treasure, which gives you a lot of XP, because he knows that the Explorer for Portugal is down, sending those 2 Ulans to idle the Portuguese base a little bit. I like it from Carbone. What I'm seeing from here right now is activity. He's very active. He's not being passive with these Ulans. He's bringing these Ulans forwards and backwards, trying to raid while simultaneously helping out with the treasure. And now he's going to go back into raid. But if we can see the perspective of Chefsudiste, 1 second, he just has aged. He's aged with the shuttle warriors, as I've expected. He's getting his plaster mines. Probably has enough for steel traps. There we go. And he is going to place that TC on the back of his base, where he has another hunt and where he has another mine. This map layout has been incredibly favorable for Chefsudiste so far. And these Ulans should turn around and just snare those shuttles, but they didn't. And yeah, the shuttles get away, and none of the Ulans go down, so kind of a 50-50 trade. But Portugal, researching, 1 Ulan is down. Thank you very much for correcting me there, Craft. 1 Ulan down. Steel traps coming in for Port. A healthy batch coming in from Dragoons, and we are also going to see 5 Dragoons being shipped. So now he's going to try and right-click with the shuttles. First military engagement of the game right now. Comanchero's taking down a shuttle. So a shuttle and a Comanchero going down. 2 shuttles going down right now. But I don't think Carbone wants to be taking these fights in the Portuguese base. Although he has idled the Portuguese base a lot. And we are seeing both of the TCs being idled right now. So very, very good news for Carbone, especially as we know that he is aging right now. So Port has
And
a small window.
As you predicted, he's just massing the goons. He's trying to match the Comanchero play here with his dragoons of his own. So I like the early Comanchero play from Germany, because he wanted to kill those Shoto warriors, and look how
Ooh,
fast it's going
nice.
now.
Nice
Very
catch. Did you
clean
just see that,
micro.
Manakiko? Did you see that,
Yeah,
Manakiko?
man. He just did a run around with his cowboy, and man, those boots aren't made for walking anymore. The Shotos are going down. Are we gonna see a little bit of a fight between the Dragoons and the Comancheros? No, it doesn't seem like that. But Carbone just joined Chefsudiste in H3. So now we're gonna see which units he's gonna select from the saloon. And
There
as
we
you
go.
predicted, the Stradiots, the speedy heavy calves. And yeah, once they connect to the organ guns of Chefsudiste, my God, they will just melt
Exactly
away.
what I wanted to say. Exactly what I wanted to say. Carbone
Um,
has it's as if it's predicting Chefsudiste moves, and I'm loving it, Manakiko, because the other day when I casted with you, I don't remember which series it was. It felt like the players were unprepared. Carbone is as prepared as you can get, at least for this first matchup. He is playing the map so well, and he's kind of predicting what Sudiste is going to do. Right now, these Dragoons are going to be chasing the Comancheros. Comancheros are getting away. If we can look at the stats of the Dragoons and the Comancheros, I think it's quite an even fight with the H2 Comancheros. 20 attack, 225 HP, 20% range resist. They're not that much worse than the Dragoons. So if the Dragoons are going to get right-clicked by the Stradiots eventually, the Comancheros in behind can do a good job of helping them clean up these organ guns. But from now on, from what I'm seeing, the organ guns are kind of going to be patrolling in between the 3 TCs, making sure that not too many villagers go down. And on the back of this, Carbone, after the 1,000 coin shipment, is going to be shipping the Hessian Jaegers. And these Jaegers are going to be so scary if he micros well. If somehow Carbone manages to get on these organs early and not let a lot of Jaegers die, this could be wraps already early on.
Yeah, and it really depends on how aggressive Chefsudiste is gonna position his organ guns. Is he gonna move forward, or is he gonna stay in range of his TCs where he can call in the militia man? Because otherwise he doesn't really have a meat shield to tank these Stradiots. After this, Carbone is also shipping his improved mercenaries, so that will also buff his Stradiots, buff his Jaegers. So I really like the mercenary play here, and it's like he was listening to you, man. He took the 2 big treasures in the middle. He's taking control of the map, and that's what Germany loves, right? They love to gobble up those juicy silver mines.
Okay. Sorry, Manoniko, for interrupting you there, but we almost had our first engagement. The organ guns took a couple of shots out on the Jaegers, but except for one Jaeger actually went down from what I'm seeing. But this is good. This is looking good for Germany. No Jaegers went down. I thought they get 13. I'm such a noob. Excuse me. They only get 12. Don't mind me. Don't listen to me. They get 12 Jaegers. They get 13 Pandors. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Noobcaster in action. So, a couple of Stradiots are going to come in, and with all this cav that Carbone has, he has the potential to just surround and try and clean up. But these Organgans are getting some nice free shots there on the Jaegers, and 2 Jaegers going down. Those are 400 resources worth of units.
And look
But
at this
we are seeing the
positioning.
surround right now, Mananico. The
Ooh.
surround is coming in. Stradiots are going to be right-clicking together with the Comancheros.
Yeah,
Jaegers
yeah,
are going
yeah.
on.
Oh.
Jaegers are going on the goons right now. And the Stradiots, as I have said, with their 7.25 speed, are catching up to the Dragoons. And the Dragoons are having a very tough time kiting them right now. Even though Sudiste is doing a very good job, these trades are not all too bad for him. Even though he has managed to lose his 3 organ guns. But
I
the
see
Stradiots
that
are still snaring. But the Jaegers are in the back.
evaporating.
The Jaegers are in the back trying to chase, but they're not quick enough. This has been a really, really nice job by Chefsudiste so far to keep his Dragoon mass alive and not take all too much damage. And we can see it reflected in the score. We've had a lot of Stradiots go down for not as many Dragoons. The organ guns did go down, yes, but, the 1,000 coin, 1,000 wood shipments still exist, and we can see more of those units coming in. But yeah, so far, good trades for Sudiste.
It feels like Carbone is trading well, but his units are more expensive. So actually he's losing a lot of value. And look at this Dragoon mass from Chefsudiste. 25 Dragoons. Now shipping in the Cazadors. The Skirm Goon is starting to come alive. And 53 villages for Chefsudiste already. My god, that eco is rolling. And he is, however, pop capped at this moment. He needs to build another house to finish his batch of Dragoons. Will Carbone have enough steam to mass up as big as Chefsudiste? But the Goons are now catching the Comancheros. And it just looks like Carbone doesn't have the military numbers here. I hope his Pandours are almost coming in. So yeah, that's another big shipment. 13 anti-skirmishers. They do well against the Cazadors. They do well against the Goons. So I'm liking the choice of shipments, which shipments he sends first, which shipment he sends second. But I don't like the amount of military units that I see. It feels like he needs more units on the map. If he can catch those Goons with a nice flank, he tried it in the first fight, but if he really can catch them from the back, then I believe he will win the fight. But on the other side, he's only on 34 villagers. He does have a lot of settler wagons, so probably he's on about 40 villagers or something.
If he's got 8 settler wagons, that means that we're currently on 42 villagers for
42,
Germany. So
right?
Right
Yeah,
about
yeah.
now at the 14-15 minute mark, as I said before the game, now is the time that Portuguese eco is just going to start to outscale. Now we're going to see, when we're going to look at the post-game graph, that the eco is really going to take off for Port and Germany is going to fall behind. I feel like the window for Carbone to really win the game is kind of over, but you never know. With Mercenaries, again, all he needs is one good surround and fight. But
yeah, exactly.
I'm not a big fan of keeping on making Stradiots into pure goons, especially with let's see what's going on in the Portuguese town center. Okay, everything's okay. We are going to see some organ guns being made right now for Port. These organ guns are going to be there purely to just counteract the Pandoran Jaeger play, and with this amount of goons, I just don't see anymore what Carbone's window is to win this game. Now,
Yeah,
if you're Carbone, you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, game 1, don't get demoralized. You still have a chance. You still have a very good shot here. This is Chefsudiste. This is what he's known for. And if you're Chefsudiste and you're looking at this, you must be very happy, because it's always a good feeling to start the series with a win, especially when it's with your main civ. It's always very annoying to lose with your main civ. And another thing we have to note, the coin mines are completely running out on the map. We're seeing that if you're looking at Carbone on the south side of the map in the color blue there, he is eating the last coin mines on the right side of the map. All he's going to have left after this is the middle coin mine, and then the top left one, which, if I'm not mistaken, is actually a gold mine and not a regular silver mine. Yeah, there we go. But he could and actually should have maybe gone for that a bit earlier. And
Sudiste is
yeah.
moving up to the German base with his army, and Carbone doesn't really have anything to answer for that. He's moving into the Portuguese base himself. let's look at the Portuguese base because I think there is the fight will be started. So the Stradians are into the base.
Yep.
Now are we getting some militia men? We are not getting them. Why is he? Yeah, we are getting them now. Why is he sieging the town center? Oh, and the militiamen pop out. But Chefsudiste is waiting for his organ guns to come in position to engage with his goons. But I think this is possibly the end gaming fight. We have a mortar for Germany, but we see here the fight. The goons connect to the skirmishers. The skirmishers try to hit and kill the goons, but the organ guns are doing so much damage onto the German mercs. My god, the German army is just evaporating. The goon mass is so big. The cazadors are untouched.
Oh.
Everything is melting. I see red numbers flying throughout the screen, and my god, this looks like a GG for Chefsudiste.
Yeah, Chefsudiste has microed this perfectly as well. GG, well played. And Big Boy Sudiste, the favorite for this series, takes the first game, gets his number on the board, and we have a 1-0, ladies and gentlemen. We have a series. See, I want to hover over that 14-minute mark if we just can, Big Boy Craft. If you can see, that's when Port really starts outscaling eco-wise. If you can see at minute 14, there we go, 59 vils. And if we can look at the resource gathered, that is what I'm predicting, that that Port really starts at gathering. No, he even started way earlier. Wow, he started out gathering at minute 12 already. So very, very nice, greedy eco play from Sudiste. Being so careful, a thing that we overlooked in this fight was earlier on when the goon mass wasn't as big with the three organs. The three organs, yes, they got killed, but he got such good value. He got such good trades. He killed like 9 or 10 Stradios while losing 3 organs and maybe 4 dragoons. So the trades from Chefsudiste this game was on point. And that's what I've said from the beginning of the series. If you want to beat Chefsudiste, you better be on your A game, because he's maybe not going to do wild stuff and he's maybe not going to do anything that will get him back into a game, but most games he's going to be ahead and he's not going to let go from an experienced position of being ahead. So very well played to Chefsudiste right now. Military unit count, look how it's going down. If we can switch over to Pop, Pop is even more indicative here because this is, this is a mercenary build. Look at the Pop difference. That's what I was talking about. Early H3, Germany had so much more Pop, and Sudiste just managed to outtrade every single fight. Very well played by Sudiste.
Yeah, I loved how we played those fights. Also, a thing that is a little bit underrated is like when he moved in his organ guns, he was like next to the native posts. It's like a building you cannot really break. You're forced to walk around the native post, and yeah, their tents and all, they're all in the way. So if you're playing with heavy cav, that is your worst nightmare, that the terrain also blocks your heavy cav from making a clean flank. He did, however, catch those organ guns, but as you said, he kited back with his dragoons. And man, Chefsudiste taking a win with Portugal, it is something we expected. I mean, we're not gonna lie, right? Portuguese on for Chefsudiste, his main civ. I expected him to win with this civilization, not on this map per se, but I expected him to win. But the question of the series is, how deep is his civilization pool? Because everybody is memeing on him for being a one-trick pony. What can we expect from Chefsudiste at this point? That's the question. We're now going to a hybrid map, to Ivory Coast. I felt like Portuguese was the perfect civilization for that map. What do you think, Shake? What's he gonna play on the Ivory Coast here?
So for the next game, we've actually got our civ picks in, and I'm not a fan of Sudiste's pick, but I am a fan of Carbone's pick. So we're going to have France for Chefsudiste and Otto for Carbone. Now, in general, I am of the opinion that it is a 50-50 matchup. It's very map dependent. On livestock maps, I would say it's France favored, but on TP heavier maps or on water maps, it is Otto favored. And we have Ivory Coast as the next map. It is a TP map. It is a water map. No livestock, so the potential for 12-10 kind of goes out of the window there for France. So I'm saying this is an Otto favored matchup right there on that specific map, and I'm excited to see what Carbone's build is going to be, because there's a lot of options there.
Are we gonna see maybe a native build from Chefsudiste, because they do have Jesuits and Akans, and I believe those are pretty powerful native units. That's like a musketeer unit and a dragoon unit. Also, what I like about the Jesuit, they have that tech that it produces your villagers faster. So honestly, on a Jesuit map, I don't think France is that bad if you go for natives. But yeah, we'll see what happens because we're already in the game. Shake, can you present it for us?
Definitely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 2 of this series played between Carbone and Chefsudiste for the ESOC Spring Championships. So, on the west side of the map, in the color red, we have the underdog, nevertheless a very strong player, Big Boy Carbone, playing as the Ottomans on this absolutely phenomenal. Can we take a moment and appreciate how aesthetically pleasing the map of Ivory Coast is? And he's playing a very solid pick on this map, very strong. Jesuit natives to the north, Aka natives to the south. And on the east side of the map, in the color blue, we have Chefsudiste playing as his native country, the French, with their CDBs. Very suspicious that the French have no female villagers, but we'll get to that at some later stage. So, what are we thinking about this map for Ottoman? I think that, first of all, Chefsudiste has gone for the right TP. Very smart, going for the middle TP over here in the middle of those three TPs. It doesn't cancel out, but it would delay any Ottoman stagecoach play in H2. And I don't like the TP positioning for Carbone. Yes, it is a safe TP, but you don't force your opponent interfering in H2 play. So it is safe. It's going to last longer than the French one, but still, it's not as mentally enticing as the middle one is. So if we're looking at the treasure so far, 25 wood picked up for Carbone, 25 coin picked up for Chefsudiste. Are we going to see a 1210 from France? No. House has been built, but we've also found an 85 food treasure, which is amazing. I am very much of the opinion that 85 food, in this case, a 1320 is much better for France, but we are seeing Carbone creeping up, and if he manages,
sniffing those parrot eggs,
if he has a crack shot, he can take this treasure right now, and there we go. He's faking the crack shot, taking as much damage, and there we go. I think Carbone got it. He got down first, and yes, Carbone manages to get the 85 food, and this is some very bad news for Chefsudiste, because this might mean not only does Otto get a much faster age up, this will also mean that France will not be able to afford a 1320, and he's going to be forced to go for a 1420, which is so slow. Ottoman now has the ball in its side of the field. He can choose to go for a Delhi semi. He can choose to go even for an FI if he wants. He is so much earlier. Look at how late France is going to be aging up. We see a mosque. We see a house for Carbone. Let's see his deck. Let's see what he is going to be going for. He is shipping schooners. So we are going to see water. Okay. Water boom cav. We're going to see some Cav Archer Abus gameplay over here. And yeah, this is very exciting right now for Carbone. If you're Carbone, you must be extremely hyped.
I mean, taking that treasure, that is basically a 170 foot swing. If you think about it, you delay your opponent 85 foot, you're taking it away from yourself. That's the double difference. So I like that he contested that treasure. It was a little bit lucky. He didn't scout it before. And also look at the explorer HP advantage that he has. He can just bully this French dude, and he has to run back to his town center. And yeah, man, if he's gonna kill him, that's a 45. That's a 45 XP. He's 1 HP, and he's gonna finish it off. Barak Odrama is down.
Wow. First of all, I have to say, Big Craft, can we please update the score and put it 1-0 to Chefsudiste? That's the first thing. Second thing, how good has this age up been for Carbone? He's managed to get the French Explorer before the age up. He's managed to steal that food treasure. That TP is in a very safe position now. It makes even more sense that he's going for water. And not only that, this age 1 has been actually a bit horrible for Sudiste, because he's going to be aging up at a 1420 time without queuing that extra villager. He decided to stick to his guns to the 13 CDB, and I'm not liking it, because you're going to be up like, what, 10 seconds earlier, but with a Vil less, that's just not worth it completely.
And look at this, man! Those fucking cheap fishing boats already being pushed out of the Ottoman dock. And if we can take a look at the villager graph, yeah, 22 villagers already for Ottoman. 23, yeah, he's basically 2 TC booming. Okay, those villagers are on basically berries, but once you get the upgrades for the fishing boats, my god, that Eco will just fly through the moon.
Yep.
Now making his stable, so as you predicted, as the deck told us, he's going for the delis. And yeah, I like me some cavalry early, especially against those coureurs de bois. If you can slap 1 or 2 down, my
Can we
god,
just check
it
out
hurts him.
Chefsudiste's deck, please? Can we check Chefsudiste's deck? I want to see if he's got any anti-water. No, the water will not be contested throughout the entire game right here for Carbone. So we are seeing 700 coin being shipped, but I'm not really understanding why, because we've got a Hussar in queue. Are we going to plan on doing a, prolonged H2 with multiple Hussars if we can just switch over back to the French perspective? I'm not sure what the plan is here, because this feels a bit too early to be shipping 700 coin, because you've got a good macro for Hussars. And Delhi out on the field. Let's see how many Delhi the Ottoman player managed to get out, and they are spotted already by the scout, and the scout is going to go down. That's another win for Carbone. Carbone must be loving life right now, and these Delhi are almost going to get caught by the Hussar, but very, very smart, being awake, running away from the Hussar, killing a CDB. No, just not killing a CDB, but the CDB is very low HP. Very low HP on that CDB. CDB is running away right now, but Carbone is all over the map. Carbone is playing like a man possessed right now. I'm loving to see this gameplay from him. Very questionable decision making right now for Chefsudiste. I'm not really sure what his build is going to be. If we can just switch over to his perspective once again to see if he's queuing more Hussars. Yes, he is queuing more Hussars, and now he's only decided to ship the 700 wood. So we're probably going to see 700 coin after that, or maybe some units to try and hit the Ottoman base with a timing attack. But for now, very good start for Carbone. 21 CDB on the field right now. Do we have steel traps for France is what I'm wondering. I really hope for France that he has steel traps, because without it, I might even just have to call the early GG right now. Okay, Cav engagement in the middle of the map. French Explorer is in here. We've got more Delhi and more Hussars coming in. We've got a total of 8 Delhi. How many Hussars do we have out on the field right now? We've got 8 Hussars out on the field, 7 Hussars. Okay, the Hussars are winning this. They had more, and they managed to collapse on the Delhi before the supporting Delhi came in. So that was a bad trade for Carbone. Very good trade here for Chefsudiste, but it is also meaning that Chefsudiste is going to stay in that age longer, where if we're looking at the other side, a couple of Delhi are being queued in. 31 villagers right now out for Ottoman, by the way, as well. And 600 coin coming in. So he's going to be looking for an age up after the 600 coin shipment. So all in all, still okay for Carbone, but very, very well played that earlier catch there for Chefsudiste. But another CDB. Is the CDB going to go down? The CDB is not going to go down. Not focused well there by Carbone. That's too bad. That's a miss for him right there. He should have taken that down.
Yeah, and his Delhi micro wasn't really on point there. The 4 reinforcing Delhis had to run around the native post again, just like we saw in the first game. So really not so aware of the terrain here. Chefsudiste looking like he's comfortable in H2 with France. He's just making Hussars, shipping Hussars. Now not queuing up any more units. So now he believes it is time to finally age up to H3. He is making a house and a barracks, so maybe after the age up he will make some skirmishers. But yeah, score-wise he isn't doing so bad, but I know the water player always underscores in the beginning of the game, but once that water echo is rolling, my god, does it outscale. And we don't see any, I don't even think he scouted the dock from Carbone. If you can take a look at the field of vision for Chefsudiste.
He did not know.
He did
Oh,
scout
he did.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, he did scout it, but yeah, he must know he's on a timer here. Then I'm very curious what his strategy will be if he reaches H3. I think he has no other choice to go all in onto the Ottoman base. But yeah, Carbone
I mean,
now.
France kind of has the leeway and the ability to go, kind of greedy early, I would say. Mid-map TP. You saw that he is floating a lot. Why did he make an extra batch of Hussars here? Okay, that was very, very bad. We just got 4 extra Hussars just as we aged for Chefsudiste. That is really, really bad for him. That's what 800 resources spent on a colonial age unit that is really awkward for you to upgrade as well. So, yeah, I don't know. But what we are seeing is a full cav army so far. We are going to see the 1,000 wood followed up behind it. Okay, so he is probably planning on either going stagecoach, adding a second TC as well, and kind of contesting that auto boom. If we're going to switch over to the Ottoman TC, let's in this game, I think we're going to have to switch perspectives a lot. We've got some Delhi out on the field. We've got a lot of Abus out on the field and only a handful of Cav archers. So if Chefsudiste wants to take a fight right now, which he is right now, and Carbone isn't really awake for it, this could end up being really, really good for him because there's a lot. There's a lot of Dragoons coming in support. The Delhi are melting right now, and the Cav archers are just not in a great enough number to be able to take down these Hussars. Maybe I was wrong, and so this was genius all along, and he isn't pushing for a timing attack, but oh my god, that split fire from Carbone. Beautiful. 4 Hussars going down before they even managed to connect, so negligible trades here right now, especially with H2 Abus Governors out on the field, but these Hussars are managing to get on the Abus, and the entire Ottoman mass is wiped out. France 3k score ahead right now. We are seeing veteran Abus coming in as soon as there are barely any Abus but 1 left out on the field. We are seeing a shipment of Cav archers and Cav archers being queued right now, but this isn't enough because the entire mass has been wiped out, and that 1,000 wood from France behind this is going to get completely unpunished. So we are going to be able
look
to
at
see
these villagers on the gold mine. Are they going to be spotted?
Oh yes, if they
Oh.
are going to be spotted, it could have been very bad news. But if we're looking at the French perspective, there is a TC going up north for Chefsudiste on that gold mine, going to secure that mine, that hunt, those trees, those berries, everything alongside it. So all in all, this is actually looking really, really good for Chefsudiste right now.
He's looking like a big boy in this matchup, and yeah, even though we expected the H3 Cav, those Hussars, they really beefed up his army there. 4 extra Hussars. We see he only has 3 now, so he really needed them to get this timing push in. And I like the Cuirassiers switch now, but I don't think the Dragoons trade very well into the Cav
They
archers,
do,
right?
they do, especially with melee Cav tanking here. You don't want to be in a position where you have to kite back with Cav archers. Cav archers are not a kiting unit, they're a stand and fight unit, and they don't have any range resist. So that amount of Dragoons in behind are just gonna melt the Cav archers. These Cuirassiers are taking forever to kill, and you've only got 5 Abus guns. These Abus guns are just gonna get overwhelmed by both the Cuirassiers and the Dragoons right now. And yes, who said you can play port only once? Chefsudiste is playing port right in front of our eyes right now, ladies and we are seeing Portuguese gameplay, and Carbone is suffering right now. We're seeing more Dragoons coming in right behind. I have praised Carbone for his preparation for this series, but from the looks of things right now, Chefsudiste knows his build orders and knows what to do against certain civs.
Yeah, man, that water play really not paying off. Also, I think Carbone forgot to take his mosque tag, because I see that villager is not being queued up for a long time now. So he's stuck on his villagers until he gets the increased limit. So yeah, his TC is basically not working. That is a little bit of a mishap. Also,
can we just switch over quickly to the French perspective? I want to see how many villas he's on. He's on 34 CDB right now. France's eco is better than Ottoman's eco, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Carbone taps out, and Chefsudiste overpowered France gameplay right now with the extra Hussars in H2 into full Dragoon spam is going to take the second game of the series. Very well played. The timing there was absolutely immaculate from Chefsudiste. He grabbed him by the throat and didn't let go until the breath was out. Phenomenal gameplay here. I would say, Manakiko, that the build that he was going for was just wrong, but he managed to capitalize on just Carbone not being ready unit comp-wise. He just didn't have enough stuff out on the field.
It's like he did something very unexpected, which turned out in his favor at the end, because nobody expects you to make so many Hussars in transition still. And Carbone, he didn't have any tanking units. He didn't have a beef shield for his Abus gun. I also don't think he made a barracks this game, so maybe some Azabs could have been tanking. I also, if you look at Chefsudiste, how he played it pretty smart. He went for a second town center. He went for extra trading posts to get his shipments rolling even more. He had a church. He's proving that you don't need water to win this map, and yeah, I really like the strategy here, man.
It was very well played by Chefsudiste. We're seeing that 1,000 woods. As I said just before, you know, Sudist has the opportunity to go for 1,000 wood because I've been playing a lot of Ottoman H3 Cav Archer Abus, and once you get the mass, it's incredibly scary. But early on, you're just so vulnerable because you don't have the mass. Even if you go water, you can't really spam all that much. And I think Carbone made a mistake by not going for the 5 Cav Archer first. That first 6 Abus kind of killed him there. If we're imagining a 5 Cav Archer batch instead of those 6 Abus batch there, I think this game could have gone completely different, especially against all those unupgraded H2 Hazars there. Carbone could have had the win, but again, yes, mistakes were made on this side, but he comes in and makes the right decisions with the wrong unit composition afterwards, which, you know, mitigates the mistake that he made earlier. So very well played here. I want to say by both players, actually. This was a very entertaining game and could have really gone either way. And it's kind of one shipment that decided the game here. If we're looking at the post-game stats, we are going to see the all resource gathered.
Look at that fucking
Yeah,
drop.
look at the fight. It's just awful for
Oh, that is disgusting, man. That is all your
Carbone.
hopes
Yeah.
and dreams shattered. It's like you have the perfect unit composition and then you go from 40 to 0. My God. In 50 seconds. Yeah, we saw the fight, but that was... Damn, man. Ah, that's painful. That is painful to watch. And he had a rematch, but it is just not enough. Your opponent starts at 30 pop units. You have to start from 0. Oh, that is devastating, man.
Can we check out the resource gather, please? Because I think towards the end, yeah, there we go. France was ahead the entire time. And towards the end, he was even starting to scale up because once you get multiple TCCDB, water cannot contest that.
Yeah, and it's also he only made one dock, so is schooners really worth if you're playing on one dock? I always felt like 2 docks or 3 docks, and then you can really boom your fishing boats. And now it felt like he had a deck to go water, but he really didn't. He didn't escalate his water play. He stick to the one dock play. And also, yeah, he didn't upgrade his church deck, his mosque deck. So his free villagers were not coming in. So yeah, it really felt he limited himself a little bit. He had a great start to the game, but yeah, maybe that fight fucked up his thinking because he really was not scaling his economy as well as Chefsudiste was. And my God, did he look dominating this series already? Is it gonna be a 4-0 here,
It is
or
not.
what?
I am guaranteeing that it is not. We're not gonna act like this series is over because let you in on a secret. Carbone hasn't played any of his best civs yet. He hasn't
Well,
played
he
Dutch.
better start playing them because it's only 2 more games and he's gone.
All right, this is my cue to leave, ladies and gentlemen. Harrison is back, so I'm gonna be out for now, and Harrison will be taking over with Manakiko for now. It's been a pleasure casting for you guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of the series, and I will be watching definitely. So, good luck, Manakiko,
Hey,
Craft,
thank you,
and good luck to the
Shake.
players.
You really showed how you have to cast here, man. I'm always satisfied when I can cast with you. But now we got Big Harrison, the man with a big gravitational field, the man with the moist soaking underwears. He's here, Big Harry, taking over from Shake. Harrison, are you watching the games and what is your opinion on them so far?
Holy shit! Gravitational field. What an intro. What a thing for me to step into. I'm not actually wearing the moist wicking underwear today. I'm wearing some Sundico sporty ones. I was out on somewhat of a move, quite a intense thing this morning. So yeah.
Oh, and we're having a live view. What's up, man?
I was watching the I was watching the games. I was out briefly during the first game, but I was eating my dinner for the first one. So, no, yeah, looking to carry on the series. Actually, I would say looking to start the series, but we're kind of here, kind of halfway. I mean, there's potential for Chefsudiste to get the 4-0 over Carbone. He is the significantly stronger player, but the real question is what civ variety does the Chef have? He does play a lot of civs in team. He's a team player mainly, and when he's playing team games, he can expand and play other civs like the Dutch we've seen. Sweden is on the cards, and I'm sure maybe Brits. I'm kind of struggling at that point, though. I don't really know.
Well, we're gonna see some Dutch gameplay from Chefsudiste, so I'm curious. We have Dutch versus British on the painted desert. Yeah, I like Dutch here. They can capture those cows here on the map, so they can really turtle in their base if they want to. Dutch versus Brits, it doesn't feel like it's like a great counter pick. How do you feel about that?
Who picked first? So I guess Chefsudiste picked French,
Yeah.
and Carbone's picked Britons. It's not necessarily a counter pick. I think it's more the fact that he knows that Brits do not have a training post on this map, so there's no GMT play. It's going to be kind of standard H2. No TP maps usually favour Dutch, and if he wants to try and squeeze in a Dutch game on a tournament map with no train posts, this might be the option. The other option is Game 7 on the Cascade range, but that's kind of risky to go that deep. Both civs can compete. I think Brits do have the advantage if Carbone plays this right, and we'll have to see how he goes about it from his point of view.
Yeah, I'm also curious what kind of build we will see from Carbone. Probably some relaxed, some musketeers, some hussars, some pikes, some longbows. You know, a little bit of everything. The British, they really love to have some variety in their unit. They have so many options also. Yeah, for the Dutch, probably the Skirm Goon will probably see a fast fortress. I would say. Maybe he will make some hussars in transitions to H3. So yeah, I'm curious, how far will Carbone place his line of manners around the base? Will he like be really aggressive? You see some players, they manner like right on the edge of the opponent's town center. Against Dutch, that is a pretty viable option, I would say.
Yeah, we should probably get into the game. We can kind of explore these ideas a little bit more when and where possible.
I
We're doing a
think
map intro first.
the game is like frozen. Ah, no. Okay, we're going into the game. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Malakiko has worked out what the pause button does. We are back in game number 3. We're on the painted desert. Carbone is playing as the British, spawning down to the southwest in the colour red. His opponent today, Chefsudiste, playing as the Dutch, spawning into the northeast. Carbone picked the Brits' first pick, with Chef with the counter pick here as the Dutch. And it's a bit of a strange one here from my point of view, picking Dutch into Brits.
it was the other way around. The winner has to take first. So Chef took Dutch first, and Carbone took Brits as the counter pick.
I swear it's alternating picks. It's irregardless of who won.
Ah, okay, really? I thought it was the winner has to pick first. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that.
maybe some admins in the chat can confirm that, but I think it's alternating pick. But anyway, the Brits, I think they favour this one. British longbows H2 dominate versus Dutch skirmishers, and actually forward outpost play with the Governor Age forward racks, early longbows, kind of forces the Dutch into a response in H2. And I think that's the best way for Carbone to play this. If Carbone allows Chef to get to the third age, then they kind of letting Dutch shine and play how they wants to play, and you have stuff like the Veteran Reuter, 9 Reuter shipment, Red Lancers with that Church and Pivot, 1000 Wood with Banks, Vet Skirmish Shadow Tech, Vet Halberdier Shadow Tech. There's no skirmisher units traditionally for Brits. They got no great way of killing Halberdiers as well, so it's in Carbone's interest to take this stay H2 and kind of really pressure Chef. And I think in this kind of slight elo difference, skill difference. That's kind of a preferential style I think Carbone should be looking for, is forcing the mistakes here from Chef.
Yeah, what I do like about Chef's Dutch pick here is on this map you have like I think it was 8 free roaming cows. So yeah, with your envoy you can already start collecting some cows. In the last series we saw it went very evenly. We saw 4 cows for each player, and now we're already seeing 5 cows for Chefsudiste. So my God, this guy, he can just relax in base. He has a back hunt. He has 2 side hunts that are very close. On Carbone's side of the map, we also see a lot of hunts close to him. One thing for sure on this map, you have a lot of trees, but they are so spread out apart. Your villagers are very easily raidable when they are collecting the wood once the first trees around your base are chopped. So yeah, I'm curious how much Hussar raids we're gonna see from each of these players. For now, it seems like all of the cows were picked up. I think it was a 3-5 advantage for Chefsudiste. So, oh no, there are 9 cows on the map this time, because I see 4 cows here for Carbone. So okay, that seems like a great start for both players then.
It might be a cow treasure from one of the treasures to kind of get that. You don't often see around an uneven number for this. I reckon it probably was a cow treasure there.
Okay, yeah. But do you reckon we will see any of these natives being used today?
What are natives? I think they're Apache or Comanche. Or if they're all 4 Comanche, then probably not. A mixture of Apache, Comanche. So Apache are pretty good for killing villagers. They have the anti-villager tech in their roster, and as Dragoons go, they're pretty decent. Cost 90 food, 90 coin, and it is any serious access to Dragoons Age 2. Potential for Dutch to take that and round off their skirmisher competition Age 2 and kind of fill out their ranks, but most likely not. Also, you got to consider Carbone's gone mid-map here, middle with the outpost, probably dropping forward racks as well, so getting access onto the trading post is going to be a little bit difficult, but I don't think Chef's that interested.
No, not if you see this infrastructure already being plopped down from Carbone. So yeah, I do think that Carbone should add maybe a church also in base, just to get a little bit more XP trickle to get the shipments going. We see the second bank going up for Chefsudiste. He is shipping the 700 wood, so that means he will just collect the wood, collect all of the bisons that are in his base, and just start eating those bisons and start plopping down some more military infrastructure. He almost has enough for his 3rd bank, shipping his 4th bank. He does have the Bank of Amsterdam in his card, not the Bank of Rotterdam. But yeah, so he's gonna match Carbone with a barracks. So yeah, we will see some skirmisher play against Carbone's musketeer play probably.
How do we know Carbone's going musketeers? Oh, there's on the screen there. I was surprised to see why he's going musk. I know he's got the stable here for the muskcast time, but I think British longbows work really, really well. They beat pikes, they beat skirmishers, so it kind of shuts down the Rax play from Dutch defending. Well, whereas a couple of musks out in the field, well, that's easy targets for skirms, and Chef then has the ability to out micro Carbone and get some fantastic trades as a result. And probably market will come down as well on Chef's 700 wood. That's going to be Hunter Dogs, potentially great coats. It'd be useful. Nice building layout. It's going to be quite hard for Carbone to kind of get up and close and personal. Potential for mid-end trapping, TC fire. And yeah, those musks are already backing off, and Chef can actually try and make the most of this early opportunity. Got to be careful though. 5 Hussars are on their way.
Yeah, I think he uses the musks to bait out the skirmishers from their safe position, and then try to connect with his Hussars from the side. What I don't like here is that he put all of his military buildings in that choke point. You know, he really has to to figure out a flank, a big flank around these native trade posts before he can connect to the skirmishers. And that's also the case here in the Dutch base. We see the Hussar trying to flank, the Musketeers moving in, and yeah, now the skirmishers, they have to back off because otherwise they're gonna be picked up. And my God, the Explorers already snaring, the Minutemen coming out, and these skirmishers, they don't stand a fucking chance against this amount of Hussars. And this looked like a very bad fight for Chefsudiste so far. We do see some pikemen coming out. They connect to the Musketeers. More reinforcements coming in from Carbone. And wow, this looks like a lot of pressure on the Dutch base already.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. You kind of need the 8s pikes out to defend from the Cav play anyway. He's now sending Irish Brigadiers, but as a mercenary shipment, it's going to take 1 minute to arrive, and there's no standing army to receive this. The Minutemen kind of were thrown as a kind of a last ditch to try and block the Hussars from the Musks. There's no need for Carbone to flank with Hussars because he just needs to kind of get the Muskas up and close. And if there were pikes, well, the pikes need to kind of move forward to defend, and that's when the Musketeers shine. So I mean, getting stuck in there pretty quick, pretty fast was the good play there from Carbone. This was what I was talking about, getting aggressive, forcing that error. We've seen it here, and you know, Chef's hoping for a miracle with 5 envoys and 9 Irish Brigadiers.
Wow, the 5 envoys. I'm very curious what they will achieve here. But yeah, this we see the Irish Brigs coming in. They start to die already. Did they promote? We had 1 promotion, but they already died. And the amount of Musketeers in the face of Chefsudiste is looking like very overwhelming. He's killing these Irish Brigs one by one, and my God, the game already ended. Beautiful stuff by Carbone, man. He's getting himself back into the game.
Back into the series.
Back into the series, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, congratulations to Carbone. Well played there. And I think that there's quite a simple build plan, simple strategy, simple kind of idea of how he wants to go about. I believe it's 3vil, 700 wood, maybe 600 wood, 700 coin, or 700 wood, 700 coin. And from there, it's pretty straightforward. The must-cut play was just a kind of that damage dealer, but it's the Hussars which was the real winner there for Carbone. Chef had no anti-cav and was unable to block. Sometimes you might see Dutch players try and build an actual builder wall and kind of lock their skirmishers within a TC ring so that they are unable to make contact with the Hussars, but because the base wasn't wide open, but you could just walk through the middle of it, those skirms are always in trouble.
Yeah, the skirms, they had nowhere to flee. He tried to back off from the incoming Huss, but yeah, as you said, they didn't have a wall to hide behind. Also, the base was open. There are gaps. The market is also in the back of the base. Maybe if it was on the side, he could protect his skirms with his buildings. But yeah, Carbone looking very dominant with this British play. I really liked his strategy. You know, just press on the gas and just move forward and get as many red coats in that base as fast as you can. So yeah, pretty simple strategy, yet effective. Carbone getting a win in this series. So very well for him. Chef was looking very dominant. But let's look a little bit at the graphs maybe. Let's look at the eco graph. Because I'm curious if those 4 banks really did something to keep it right on the idle time, right on the push time. He was going ahead, but yeah, if you have 20 villagers idle, man, your eco is gonna suffer there.
So move on to the next game. I think the players will make good haste in their series, and we'll see what is coming up next. I'm currently eating a donut because it's Saturday, and why not?
Bon appetit, I will say, man. Donuts, they are very healthy because they have a hole in the middle, so a lot of air in that food. Anyway, game 4 on Anatolia. It is a trade post map. You have a couple of livestock in the middle of the map. We have the 2 native trade posts. I didn't really see any native play this whole tournament, man. I feel like the top players, they just rely on their civilization as a standalone. They really don't like to sprinkle in a native here or there. But for Anatolia, which civilizations would you recommend for these players, Harrison?
Oh, I'm seeing on screen now Chef picking Ottoman, and Otto is a civ which can go early 2 TPs this map quite happily. It's a large map, they can kind of get away with FI play. They could also take middle, Jan, Aber, stagecoach play. They have Silk Road that benefits a lot of TPs. They also have advanced train posts if they want to go for that idea as well. Carbone responding with the French himself. That's I guess that's a bit of an interesting pick out of that situation. Maybe that's just going for the civs he feels comfortable. French is also a very good civ general. You got Yax on the map as well. That's going to give a good 12-10, good momentum play from there. And we'll kind of have to see how it goes in that situation. I still can't get over the fact you said donuts are healthy because they contain a lot of air in the hole. That's I think we need to quote that one and put that on frame it and put it on the wall. This is what Malakiko thinks.
Yeah, you have to have a mixed diet, If you're eating unhealthy stuff, you have to mix it up with also some healthiness. I don't know what's happening to our game. I think we have a little issue, so we are gonna reload the game and try to get into the game now. But yeah, French against Ottoman. So we have the Janissaries that are obviously one of the better musketeer units. And we have the French on the other side. French also have access to a lot of units, right? They are not like a one-dimensional civilization. They can do almost anything they like. Especially in their deck, they have a lot of options to mix, to upgrade their cav. They can upgrade their cannons. They can upgrade their skirmishers. So what unit comp are you expecting from Carbone this game, Harrison?
Probably Dragoon heavy. I think we've seen this reverse matchup earlier with Chefsudiste getting the win over Carbone's. Otto went Dragoon heavy with mixed units in there, so that might be the same prerogative that Carbone wants to explore. Depends if he wants to go for a straight FF or if he opens up a building. He probably will drop either a Rax or a stable on the 400 wood, and that will allow raiding or other players. It could be like a semi try and take down some train posts and kind of boom behind that. It's interesting because you're saying that you're a little bit disappointed, but some of these quotation marks pro players are not utilizing natives, and I think that's good though, because the natives should be they should be situational and used as part of a strategy, or to cover up a civ's weakness, or to kind of maybe play to a map. They shouldn't be your number one go-to. I must play with the Apaches every game I get them because they're too good. Because then they suggest that they're just too good. And I like the idea of these civs having different strengths, different weaknesses, but there's different natives on offer depending on the map. Might cover those up. Some useful text. My favorite native is the House of Habsburg. There's a very strong mercenary tech, +1 shipment, a lot of XP as well, and that they are able to train. It has to be said, the best musketeer in the game, the veteran line infantry, and that covers up compositional weaknesses for China, for Germany, for Dutch. They can all train musketeers themselves, so it's quite useful for them to kind of get that native in, round out that composition. There's no point having, like, being Russia, whose the whole sole purpose is training really cheap, cost-effective, spammable units, when they could train some natives, but they're not really short on population. They have no civ bonus with the natives, and they're rather expensive for what they do. So it's kind of, some civs make better use of them than others, but some maps offer different avenues for those natives to make sense.
Yeah, but don't you agree with me that, like, for example, France, if you go for like the Royal Musketeer build, which has a lot of options to buff your native units, like if you use them with these, for example, these Vanar allies that you have in Anatolia, that you have a quite nice infantry composition. You have some skirms, you have some musketeers. So it's really it's really a rounded composition in terms of your infantry, I would say, in H2. Then if you stay in H2 as France. Also, you have that big button. I love to press that big button of House of Vanar. You know, those 3 musketeers. It just feels nice.
Yeah, no, it's a decent idea, but when you only have access to literally one trading post on the map, you have to kind of weigh up whether it's useful to invest so much technology into those units instead of investing into more traditional units. I think the game is that we should probably hop into the game now, and we'll see how this progresses. Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 4 question mark? Yes, 4 question mark.
Yeah.
We're at Anatolia, and Chefsudiste playing as the Ottomans, spawning down to the southwest in the colour blue. Carbone playing as the French, spawning to the northeast. Chef picked Ottomans. Carbone's counter-picked with the French, and both players are going straight for a trading post. This map is large. It has 6 trading posts, and it kind of promotes slightly a boomier playstyle, kind of turtle, trying to play for the technology advantage in the later ages. You could go aggressive and try and win control over the trading posts, but by the time you kind of win the middle, your opponent's probably into the next stage, and they still have in-base trading posts you can't quite take themselves. A small number of water buffaloes in the middle valley, useful for just a little bit of extra food income, but not enough to be significant in the game. Treasures varied, quite generous actually in places. A lot of low-tier treasures, so good hunting grounds for both players when they're about. And we'll have to see. I think Chef is the kind of the person who can dictate the pace of this game, whether he wants to go Jan Abus H2, Jan Delhi H2 and fight for map control, or whether he'd be happy tucked up in base. And knowing his playstyle, I think is going to be the latter. We'll have to see what we can find out what his plan is, maybe by checking his deck and have a look at that. Yeah, we've got Silk Road there, and not going for Silk Road card number 1. Maybe might be quite hard for him to tech into Silk Road at some point later on. No church cards, so no church, advanced church, and no palace intrigue. I think Chef is just going to try maybe send a K Wood, get TCs out and start just making you, basically playing Ottoman as standard as possible. But I think he's missing some tricks, especially not having the 2 TC card in the 4th age. That would be a Chef classic.
Yeah, it seems like he's just gonna try to match his Portuguese playstyle with Ottoman. I think I agree. I think he will go a little bit into Fast Fortress, trying to get a couple TCs out, and then try to boom his eco from there. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't use the church cards here, because I feel like that's very strong for Ottoman, especially if you have access to a lot of TPs. He is going for Silk Road, however, so I think we will see him take control over the TP line soon. Yeah, curious to see if Carbone will contest that, or if Carbone will try to raid Chef's eco. So maybe we can look at Chef's or at Carbone's deck. So yeah, he has a standard 1v1 deck. A lot of crates. I see Coureur de Bois shipments. I don't see anything really special in this deck. So very standard deck. He has some upgrades for his cav. He has a fort, which could be handy. So yeah, I think these players, they are matching. They will be matching each other in tempo here. We see Carbone aging up to H2, 3 minutes 40, and already shipping his Coureur de Bois. I think Chefsudiste will not be far behind him. So yeah, both of these players loving life so far in this series.
We got a lovely donation there, $25 from XK Serum. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. All your prizes, all the donations will be added to the prize pool, and that's green bar is filled up very nicely. So yes, we do see Silk Road, which I'm not surprised by. I think this is the map to do it. Chef is already on 2 train posts, researching Stagecoach, going to get the 3rd train post built, and should have enough wood remain to get a military building. Defensive racks here, I think that is a bit of a poor decision here from Chef. You want to be out in the middle of the map, fighting for that trading line, and the quicker you can get your reinforcements to the front line, the better.
Yeah, Chef, he is kind of a defensive player, so maybe it suits his character more than it suits his strategy this game. But yeah, the thing is with the stagecoach here too, Carbone can just get a free tax on that stagecoach, so that must feel good. Chef didn't build his 3rd trade post so that's a little bit surprising for me. He is making some Janissaries, however, and can we see what Carbone is making? I expect him to be making some cavalry, but yeah, he got some units moving over, and yes, indeed, he's moving over 4 SRs, and he's taking that middle trade post that Chef was eyeing on, I believe. So yeah, interesting. He takes the trade post on the other side, don't you think, Harrison?
No, not really. I think what Carbone's trying to do is say, I'm going to take the middle resources which are available to me, and then work my way back with my Explorer to take the safer train post. He's doing that, and he's going to get himself a 3rd TP. He might lose control of this middle portion of the map. That won't phase Carbone. He will still have 2 train posts generating resources, and I don't quite know what's gone wrong with Chef's build order, because he should be in the middle of the map on 4 TPs at this point, and kind of taking a lead in terms of the stagecoach eco, he has enough jams now, he's having to siege down Carbone's economy behind, but it just seems that this defensive racks play is so misjudged, and Carbone is like a kid at Christmas, multiple presents, and able to able to raid and buy eco time, and this is going so well for Carbone, and actually it's Chef giving Carbone the presence of this strategy here, I'd say, instead of actually Carbone playing especially well.
So Carbone catching the Explorer from Chefsudiste also. Wow, he's not able to finish that trading post. His own trading post will be sieged down, and we see the defense in Chef's base. But the idle time is just so huge, man. He got 22 villagers. They all have to hide in the town center until the danger is gone. I don't think he's loving life at this moment. But he is shipping some delis, so maybe he can start some counter raid soon. He is making some Janissaries. Will he complete the batch? That's just 1 Janissary. Aye, that is not so good.
Yeah, right on top. Vil going down. Vil survives. We keep a bit on that, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the husk backing away. I'm just noted that from Chef, he had 600 wood in his stockpile, now down to 400 with the foundation of another trading post. But what's he going to plan to spend the remaining wood? The TPs are still on wood, but I don't see how he spends these resources that effectively.
No, and he's getting 200 wood for every time the stagecoach passes, so that's really an insane amount of wood. But he needs some extra houses, it seems. Carbone answering the Janissary play with some musketeers of his own. The musketeer mass doesn't look too big, so he still has to back off, and he loses another trade post here. I think Chef is finally able to take control of the trade posts here. But yeah, I'm curious. Carbone is still massing some musketeers. He's also floating a lot of wood. So both of these players floating big amounts of wood. And now Carbone is switching over to crossbows, which I like, so he can spend his wood and also shipping in some crossbows. So yeah, crossbows are countering quote-unquote Janissaries, you do need to micro them well. And now we see a big fight. The Musketeers being caught by the Delhi. They have to back off again. It feels like Chef is slowly but surely taking control of the middle of the map. Neither of these players are looking to go H3 so far. That's a little bit surprising for me.
Well, no, you can't really, because you can't let your opponent dominate this TP line. And the fact that Chef has 4 TPs of Silk Trade as well, it means he can just continuously mass up a large army. If Carbone backs off now and aged, he'll be just so far behind in terms of sinking in thousands of resources to age up. He's also sending 8 crossbows and trained crossbows. He kind of wanting to exchange while he can. He does have, you know, a decent composition, and the Jans of Chefsudiste having to march back. Carbone's economy general is just better thanks to the CDB, and still only been only 2 train posts down. All the delays are down, so now actually the crossbows and musks can happily trade, and they will trade very effectively versus Chef's mass. Chef had a lot of wood. Where's the artillery foundry? We need some Aegis guns in this situation, or, as you rightly hoped for, maybe Fanar skirmishers. Heavy anti-musketeer skirms would be very beneficial here, but it looks like he's going for the Aegis guns.
Yeah, the abuse gunners coming in. I see in the chat we're also calling for abuse gunners, so very nice. Carbone taking a big score lead so far, and he is taking control of the middle of the map again. Will he siege down this trade post? This Janissary mass is looking very, very big though. So I think we're gonna have a big fight soon. Chefsudiste not really sure if he should engage or not. There are Hussars raiding his economy. He's now splitting his army. And I think that was a bad decision, because now Carbone can fight him. Or Carbone also decides to back off here. So these guys, they really don't want to give up the middle of the map, as you rightfully said so, Harrison. They're still trading back and forward. We got a sprinkle of abuse gunners here. So yeah, Chef really massing more and more abuse gunners.
Can we check why Carbone is backing off? As he sent 700 coin and looking to age, he does have 3 TP. This could be good cover for him to do so. And yes, he does have the resources to age, and using that middle trading post as time. He's going to give up that TP, but he's selling it for time. And by the time Chef has taken it down and then starting to walk into Carbone's base, Carbone will be into the 3rd age, and maybe we'll have the veteran musketeer already researched teched. 2 Falcons sends in, and goons training from his stable. We'll have to watch his space.
Yeah, the military from Carbone is moving forward again. We see the Hussars also in the back of his base. The crossbows trying to trade here with the Janissaries. Just hit and run, hit and run. That's what these guys love to do. The abuse gunners too. But look at the base of...
Yeah.
Oh, another idle time. That's another 6 or 7 villagers going back into the base. A big raid. 2 villagers going down again.
Big fight on the
eastern side.
Engaging, and what is Carbone doing? Should be backing off and waiting for his veterancy tactic. Okay, he's going double skirm Crassiers. He's not teching the musketeers. That's a strange play. When you have this many units, 24 of them, you definitely want to research veteran musketeers. It's so much value. Maybe if Chef realizes actually this is the moment for him to strike, he's realized he's behind, his opponent's getting some good momentum here on the age up, maybe cards coming in. Oh, we see this from Carbone. Look at this. Great coats and blunderbuss being teched. This might be a Vilpool to come out with the skirmishers. And I'll tell you one thing, Aegis guns really hate fighting against villagers. They do terrible damage versus them. So just a couple.
Look at the other side of the map. Carbone is building a TP there. A TC there, I mean, and Chef trying to get up a tower. His villagers get pushed away by the Hussars, but they get chased away by the Janissaries. This feels like a really greedy town center, and my god, the Janissaries now on the Explorer, and the Explorer has to run. He needed 6 more seconds to complete this TC, and yeah, Chefsudiste moving his army now over to that side of the map. Carbone will reply by sieging down these TPs again. And do we have a game on our hands, people?
I'm so surprised why Carbone did not fight and trade off against those 5 Jans. There were Vils out in the open there, ready for killing, and Carbone just kind of ran away and called it a day. Was now pushing in with, our Age 2 Hussars, Age 2 Musk, but a couple Crassiers and Skirms behind. This is not a fight that French wants. I think French will lose this. He's got to be so careful because he's already lost that TC and he thinks he can just waltz in. That's not actually how it works. You got to respect the Ottoman eco and how strong those Abus guns are, and the fact that we just lost all our cav. What is Carbone doing?
Yeah, now hoping that his cannons will carry the fight, but I think the Abus gunners are moving in. They're just gonna shoot these cannons. Will the skirmishers do enough damage to the Janissaries before the cannons go down? It feels like a very, very close fight here, but Chefsudiste is coming out on top. Carbone has to retreat.
No.
Oh, it feels like
the viewers have gone ads. Oh no! Run away, Carbone! Run away! Prolong the game. Crassier's coming in. The Abus guns are really being held away, zoned away. The Jan's doing a fantastic job blocking the cavalry, and the Abus guns are bypassing the skirm resistance. This is a bit of a cleanup, and France's military is going to quickly go to 0. And Chef pulling off the fight of the day, but no one's here to watch it.
Damn, yeah, at the end we saw the cuirassiers connecting to the Abus gunners, but it was a little bit too late, and beautiful micro by Chef, pushing away those cavalry units. Really questionable decision making by Carbone, making that TC so far forward, and also trying to defend it by just marching in with his units. That was it really felt like a swing into Chefsudiste's favor. Can we look at Chefsudiste, his macro? He is almost, no, I was gonna say he's almost ready to age up, but he still needs a lot of resources. I think he's stuck for now in H2 if he wants to keep up his military mass, while Carbone can enjoy the superior technology of the Fortress Age. This game is balancing on a knife's edge.
Yeah, so I was just reading some chat there, and the people in the chat are hyped that Chef has overcome a strong position from Carbone and marching into Carbone's base. Looks like Otto's kind of not looking to age, maybe hoping for another crate cards to kind of get him up. Remember, if he does have any crates remaining, they provide more resources thanks to Silk Trade. But the Abus guns, they keep on marching forward. They bypass the Skirm's resistance, and they're doing some big damage. The only card remaining here for Ottoman is the advanced artillery. But he's still trading massively. Big raid in town. Bashi Bozok's called. What's going on down there?
Oof.
What's going on in Ottoman's TC? Bashi Bozok's been called. And Krasia, potentially quite a few Vils and Jans gone down.
Yeah, this fight is all over the map. We also see Chefsudiste now connecting to a lot of Coureurs de Bois, and wow, this has to be a couple kills at least. Is he not shooting with his Abus? Oh, the Cuirassier is now connecting to the Abus gunners, and oh, this is looking like very close fight. The skirmishers moving in. He's using his Coureurs de Bois as skirmishers too. Chefsudiste has to back off. And it feels like the military mass is now stabilizing again in Carbone's favor. He's using his villagers to raid villagers on the other side of the map. Man, this game is going nuts. We're having fights everywhere.
Yeah, and Chef's kind of dropped the ball here because he's got no more crate eco to sustain this military. That was the whole point of Chef's play, was utilizing the Silk Roads and that bonus of extra resources in the crates to kind of spam out these shipments. He now has less eco than France, really, less tech units. His units are weaker, and he's got a shipment, but I don't think he can afford to get an advanced arsenal and make any good use of it. So he's kind of stuck, and there's no way he can now get to the third age. Just I missed the window, now paying the price for it.
Yeah, now trying to run away with his Yoruks, marching his army over here, but his villagers will go down to the skirmisher and cuirassier mass. And yeah, the Ottoman units are just a little bit too slow. Maybe he needs that arsenal, that movement speed tech, so we can catch up to these French runners. But Unfortunately, as you said, he cannot pay for it so far. He still has four TPs. And Carbone now trying out his luck on the other side of the map, trying to plop down a TC there. Really a little bit in the middle of nowhere, I feel. He gets a little bit of control over both gold mines, but they're still a pretty far distance. If there are delis connecting to your Coureur de Bois, then they enjoy the TC being a little bit closer. Now we see the Janissaries moving into the gold mine here. They will pick up a couple of fills if they are fast enough. But look at the speed of those Coureurs de Bois, my god. 4.5 speed. The Janissary is only 4, so he really has to catch them off guard if he wants to kill a couple of them. Yeah, it's looking bleak for Chefsudiste at this moment. How can he recover this game, Harrison?
Well, now there's some delis on the field. He's gone from a 2-unit competition like up to 3 units. I think that's is a wise idea. You can see how Carbone's got so many skirmishes, and the addition of some cav is attempt to kind of try and keep Carbone honest and not kind of over milk one unit type. He still has 4 TPs, and they are all on coin income. That's going to really help Chef get that economy going. And if he can find an opportunity to age, he has 26 villagers. There may be an opportunity at some point, but he will have to commit to it. Nice little raid, though. There's villagers here from Carbone in the middle of the map, and he's going to pull them back. Good C, good spots. But where the delis when you need them the most? They should have been top, snaring them and forcing Carbone to respond.
Big cavalry mass coming from the north for Carbone. Also some dragoons. We're having a fight coming in. Carbone trying to connect with his units. The skirmishers are already shooting. The cuirassiers are in full chase. I think these Abyss gunners will be caught unless he does the pull trick. And now the big fight has started. We see the skirmishers shooting. We see the cuirassiers fighting. They're trying to face tank. And Janissaries going into melee mode. We have militiamen coming from France. And what a huge fight this is. And the Chefsudiste army is just evaporating under the H3, the superior technology from the French. And yeah, now he has some Abyss gunners. But yeah, there's still about 6 or 8 queers from France. And this looking like a GG for Chef. Oi, 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 Carbone. What a nice game, man. It was back and forward. I really couldn't tell you during the game who was gonna win. After a while, yeah, Carbone had the superior technology, but damn, very, very nice game.
Yeah, Carbone should have really stomped this game much earlier. Was in the 3rd age with large amount of units, could have upgraded to vet musketeers. He went for a push with his units without waiting for the 2 falconets and kind of paid the price for that. He also tried to go for a really aggressive TC. That backfired. He should have TC'd his side of the map or slightly defensive on maybe that second train post of his. So I think Carbone just making a small number of mistakes, but those scaling together kind of brought Chef back into the game there in the middle, and that was a bit of a tough one. Big consensus here, donating 5 gifted subs to the community. Congratulations to BS Turge, Get Throated, Crumb Smasher, Geekard, and Badgy. Some of those names are a bit edgy there.
Pretty sus names, man. Pretty sus names. Are we talking about the 5 French squares here, or what? The Black Duke as the last one? But yeah, man. It felt like Chef was pulling it back because of the mistakes of Carbone. As you rightfully said, that early strategy of Chef to put his barracks in base. Yeah, if he secured those trade posts earlier, I think he could have aged up to H3 as well. And yeah, maybe from there he had access to more crate shipments. He can also bank in on those on them Silk Road on that Silk Road crates. So it felt like he had to age up to H3, honestly. But yeah, sometimes it goes like this. If we look at the military pop graph, look at the drop from Carbone and then still coming out on top. That is beautiful, man. That's what Age of Empire 3 is about, man. Even if you're down, you can get back up. You can get back in the game. And look at the score right now. It's 2-2. Carbone coming back from a 2-0 deficiency, and it looked like Chefsudiste was just better in the earlier two games. But we have a series on our hand, Harrison. You thought it's gonna be a 4-0 maybe. It was looking like a 4-0 maybe. We have 2-2. We have still 3 more games to go, or 2. So don't go anywhere. And we'll go into our next game pretty soon. So what was the next map on the menu again?
If you go into the Twitch chat and you type in !map, there you go, run the commands, and we have the Sud as game number 5.
Yay, Sud.
Of course, you know
That's,
what the Sud map is, Malakiko. Let's test your knowledge.
Yeah, I know it's an African map, but
That's a start.
yeah.
Well done. Does it have water? Yes or no?
No, it doesn't have water.
Very
well,
good.
It has water, but it doesn't have ships because it's freshwater. And
yeah.
you cannot make ships. But you have it's a Sudanese map. That's why it's Sud. Yeah. So it's basically the modern bayou with a trade line, and like 2 bigger amounts of land. So interesting map. I didn't play this map for too long, man. Damn, it's been so long ago. But I'm glad it's back in there. So yeah, the key to this map, Harrison. What should the players focus on here?
Oh wow! What an open-ended question. Oh my god, we have a huge amount of gifted subs from Results Drex, gifting 10 subs to the community. We have Vinicius getting on too easy. Mamagea Games, XKSRM got it. He's got that sub. He donated earlier. Let's bless him. He deserves it. Jobe432 named the saving 3. Phoenix, Big Boy Squamiga, who we all call Squagmire, Big Batu, and Ambience Sole with the subs there. Make sure you utilize your emotes and enjoy the rest of the casts coming in.
So we're gonna have a Swedish versus Chinese matchup here. Carbone is gonna be on China, and Chefsudiste is going to be Swedish. So yeah, that's I feel like that's a China favorite matchup. I believe on my first thought, just because of those step riders, man, those pesky little step riders, sieging all your torps and running away when the Swedish units are there. I don't know. You feel the same about that, Harrison?
I feel about the same about everything. I feel great. I wasn't listening.
No, I said that China China counters Swedish just because of those step riders and how early they can start sieging the enemy torps.
Yes. So we saw the game yesterday between Lionheart and Kevin. A really fantastic play from Kevin. 12-10 France. Card 1 going to be the 3 Hussars, and that's forced Sweden in such a big trouble. The Hussars ran on top of the Dominion torps and couldn't get that boom going, had no map control, and that's, I think, a similar strategy to what China wants to do. I would argue they would want to do a Russian concert, go mid-map, send in military card after military card, put some pressure on, force Sweden to have to respond, defend their torps, punish maybe Sweden vills out of the map. You can definitely get a couple behind. I think this is actually a tough matchup here for Sweden. China should be favoured more times than not. And in the later game, if we did see some sort of hack spam from the chef, well, the problem is, well, China still has repelling volley skirmishers doing 3x into hacker pleats, and that's a bit of a hard one for Sweden to deal with. Big Drownage gifting a sub there to Concepts of beating Medicare.
So we are ready to go into our game, into Sud map. the Sudanese river, the Nile, I believe. And we are not in denial. We are right here, right now, coming to you live from our living rooms. I'm your caster, Manakiko. We got Mr. Harrison here with me, and we're gonna cast Game 5, Chefsudiste Carbone. It is 2-2. Let's see which player will pull ahead in this series.
Yeah, Torp's going down here for Sweden in base. I'm always interested to see where Sweden opens up 2 Torps or a Torp in the market. I'm a bit of a market fanboy, but looks like Chef has gone for the 2 Torps idea. Unfortunately, though, herded his starting giraffes away from the town centre. He's going to get a villager out there to rescue that and bring it back under TC control. It's so awkward, and 2 drafts is just not enough food to get you to the second age. So he's going to have to get herding in really early, and that's actually worked out quite well there for Chef. And I'm sure he'll herd in the other drafts sooner or later. Big Carbone spoiling down to the southwestern map in the color red. He's playing as the Chinese, gone from an early trading post, and looking to get. Well, he should be chopping wood here to get on enough wood for a village. There's a wood treasure in base, which he hasn't gone for. Maybe he scouted a wood treasure on the open map. Let's see what the explorers are fighting over. Yes, he has. And how has he scouted that across the map? Maybe that was line of sight from the native post. But the problem is, if China does not take this treasure, because he stuns the treasure garden away from the base of the treasure, he hasn't got the village. Oh, he does get it though. What was Chef doing?
Oh, that could have been so sick. That could have been so sick. Oh, a little bit of. I don't know what he was doing, man. Was he looking away or what?
Yeah.
At the moment supreme, he looked away. Oh.
So rule number 1 is China here. You cannot stun a treasure guardian away from the base of the treasure because you're a melee explorer. You have to go to the treasure guardian, and you step away from the treasure. You're just giving it away for free. The problem was, though, even though that was a fantastic play, the time he took to get the TP, walk over to the treasure, fight the treasure, take the treasure, that's delayed his starting village significantly, and he was housed for at least 20 seconds. That's what it felt like. I might be wrong there, but it feels like, ideally that village would have been built way before, and the villagers would still be trained behind. Open up with tea leaves, French consulate going for the food crates. I'm going to go for the fast age up.
So yeah, which wonder is China gonna start using? Do you think it will be the porcelain tower or the summer palace? What do you favor when you're playing China?
Oh, I think with a French consulate opening, you could argue to go porcelain tower, put the tower on gold, and have everybody on food in transition. You got that goat as well for a while, but I'd also be fine with Summer Palace, eat the food crates, and then go porcelain to the third age. You have a real strong factory wonder in the third age. Your Summer Palace always produces military at 4 villages, equivalent of 4 villages. So I think Summer Palace, porcelain tower still works, but essentially it's just minor variations to get to the same point in the game. And they all have their slight pros and cons. I don't think it really matters. Maybe Carbone is wanting to go for the Skirm Wonder, the Confucian Academy for early Skirm Master deal with Chef Cavalry, but we'll have to find out how Age 2 goes before even contemplating what the Age 3 Wonder will be.
Yeah, and we see Chef starting with 4 torps on a starting mine. That's just because he's afraid of the step warriors, the step riders, I believe. But that's also not ideal, right? You want to have basically 3 or 2 torps on a mine. I thought. I have to be honest. I'm not a Swedish expert myself. I don't really play the Civ a lot. I do find them very interesting, but I thought it was like 3 torps is very good. 2 torps is perfect on a mine.
Yeah, I mean, it varies. I don't think it's super critical in that situation. I don't think there's a dedicated Swedish theory for how many torps at what time of the game to put onto a mine or not. Is mainly that the faster you get a torp, the faster you kind of get the resources to reinvest. And look at the Chef now; he's got 250 coin in that stockpile. Hypothetically, that could be reused to get maybe hunting dogs, buy some more wood, more torps, but he's going to use that for Carolean production and try and get some early units out to defend his torpin. Out comes some step riders, but they've come from the home town centre. Sometimes players will go for a forward village just to get that forward spawn point and in the base faster, and another player who's going to Dominions out, but in the face of step riders, this might be quite awkward. He might have to panic, throw down some torps. The steps have gone in. No Minutemen were called. Minutemen would have stopped this, and these torps are just going to get thrown down in the middle of empty space. This is horrendous. 5 cannons come out, but yeah, torp one a tree. One wagon might go down behind, and at least he's just buying time. This has been a little bit of a win here for Carbone.
Yeah, that's the full wood torp. That's something. Yeah.
I think he should have committed to one of the torp kills there. I mean, it's only 5 Carolians, and yes, if you lose your step rise, it's a bit of a shame. But all 4 torps get built. I mean, one does go on the trees, but again, just like how Carbone won on the Painted Deserts, Carbone get in a position where the chef could make mistakes there and has to rely on the chef playing well to get out of that situation. Was perfect there for Carbone, and I think even this early kind of 7 steps have got a positive reaction, but I mean, these 7 steps should be still raiding and pressing. There's villagers to the north, Torpin is going over there now to check that and going to punish that, and did see that Chinese had taken the big hungry hippos for 190 XP, and that's going to help his momentum any longer. Yeah, there's no way this village...
I want to say, let's also look at Carbone's base, because it seems like he put down a second wonder already. Probably will be the Summer Palace, as you said.
No, Confucian Academy.
Oh, Confucian Academy. Okay, interesting. So going for those flying crows early, that's probably also not bad if your opponent is massing those Caroleans a lot. But I don't...
It's mainly for the age-up skirmishers that gives you that momentum early on to kind of defend. I don't think it's to play. I think the Cav gone right, looking for a Vil kill. Vil might go down. Vil will go down. Nice little play there from Carbone. I would say from Chef, what he's done quite a good job was those villagers to the north of the map on that gold mine, they were escorted with a couple Carolines. So Carbone was tempting to try and stop this, but the Carolines were there to kind of defend. And yes, Carolines on the southern gold mine, but... Just this 7 step rider card has got so much kind of value in terms of forcing Chef's hands, raiding around. It has killed a Vil, put a torp in a worse place, and once the age up comes in, I'm sure Carbone, yeah, look at it, he's going to go Brick Consulate intervention with the age up skirms. He's going to march in and take some good fights. It's on Carbone here to make something happen early age 3.
Yeah, Carbone now trying to make... he's spamming his territorial army button. Let's look over at the middle of the map. I think a little... Yeah, his units are coming there. He has his village forward, so he will have a shipping point to the middle of the map. Now moving forward with his skirmishers. Does Chef have...
top? Is that the step riders on the villager? Did the Carolines go? The Carolines did go. Oh, it's just raiding the building. Villager must have long gone by then, unless it did die there. Blueberries is sent by Chefsudiste. That's an interesting choice there from Sweden. Don't often see that in current meta.
Let's look over at Chef's base. Does he have a stable to deal? Yeah, he's making some hussars, so the hussar is always good against China. But yeah, against the consulate musketeers, they will have a tough time getting on top of the arquebusiers, I believe. And yeah, Carbone moving forward with his skirmishers, trying to find those Caroleans. But Chef really keeping them in the back of his base. Really smart. He doesn't want to commit his army just now. But yeah, he really has to try to match Carbone in H3. I feel like otherwise he will just be outperformed by the superior technology. Are we seeing a repeat of last game where Chef is forced to stay in H2? I hope not for him. He does ship some leather cannons now, so that will give him a little bit of artillery. But yeah, the Chinese dead ball is starting to form. And yeah, these torps, they are not long for the world, I believe.
We might even get some more British redcoats soon as well. I don't think Carbone shipped in 300 exports, so it'll be a little while until Carbone gets the full 400 export ready for more intervention musketeers, but still having access to the age-up skirms, intervention musketeers, a couple batches of skirm swords, and he's already sent in 5 meteor hammers as well to kind of keep any exposed vills in check. This is so much siege, and torps are going down, and Chef has to be aging right now behind us, maybe going for like a No, he's just making hussars, sending leather cannons, and I don't think unupgraded H2 hussars is. Oh, there's a lot of stuff though. Actually, if the Carolians get a good engage with the charge ability and just mix it in with the hussars, that's a lot to ask of those 9 intervention redcoat musketeers for Carbone to save the day.
Yeah, he does have some Chang Daos, but yeah, they're so slow also. They are pretty okay against cavalry, I guess. But yeah, if you really want a bigger meat shield, then you definitely need an extra batch of those redcoats. One flying crow almost coming in, so China also having the superior cannon technology now. And
is Carbone trying to go to the 4th age, or is he just really bad at spending resources? Maybe he's waiting for Manchu.
I think his village was just shipped, was just sieged down, so he's housed very badly now.
This is an awkward one though, because it's not like you can just Q1 units and then complete the batch. As China, all your units are fully paid for up front in the batch system, so when you're floating resources, it's not like you can spend them any faster. You kind of, unless you build a second barracks, but I don't think Carbone has enough eco to sustain 2 barracks' worth of production, so he's kind of awkwardly floating resources until he can kind of get that sorted out. Villagers going down, Manchu on their way. Chef is staying H2. Surely he should feel about just aging behind us. He's got torps out on the map. His eco must be really good, but his military units are so bad. But a quick age up, quick couple of veteran techs, and Chef has set himself up for the late game. He scores in the lead, and you can see that the Chef is realizing that something's up. He sniffs, but Manchu on the way, and he'll back off.
Yeah, just in time. That backing off. Yeah, it feels like Carbone. Yeah, Chef had a good strategy. Just sieging down a couple villages. Just keep him population capped for now, and don't lose any of your army until you're aged up. But I don't know. Chef is also not macroing for an age up. He's just staying in H2 for now. Having 13 villagers onto wood, that also seems like an awful lot when you are full pop torp already. But now he's looking for an engage, and look at the amount of hussars. The Manchus are shooting in the back, the Flying Crow is shooting, ladder cannons are shooting, and the hussars are melting the front line. Look at this amount of units from Chefsudiste. My god, the hussars are not dying to the anti-cav, and I think Chefsudiste has a very good advantage here in this fight. The Manchus are not dead yet, so the hussars will die. And oh no, I spoke too soon. The Chinese skirms, they are all still alive. So the skirm goon mass is there, but it looked like for a moment.
That was some OP commentary there from Manakiko. That was not from Harrison AoE3 there. Make sure you remember that one. I started going, yes, Chang Dao's on the front line. They're tanking. They're doing this job. Manchu is safe at the back. Yeah, Manchu is still safe at the back. So are the skirms. And yeah, you can see that what's left over now is skirm at Manchu is really useful here from Carbone as a composition. I think Carbone still has some export left over to send in some more musketeers, and maybe second Flying Crow and Banner pop out soon. Yeah, no, it's not too bad. Okay, must have spent it. Oh, there they are. He did forget his red coat, so he now just go for them being trained again. Second racks did come down, and you can see how his spare resources has dropped as he's starting to kind of flush them through the system. It's good to see. Carbone's crossing across the map. He's going straight into Chef's base as he should, and he's going to put on maximum pressure. And Chef sent in 3 hussars very recently. Like that's his follow-up. There's not technology. It's not resource economy. Like there is no grand follow-up. And just like the game on Anatolia, Chef staying H2 and then just getting stuck without enough cards to kind of get him onto the next age and kind of hoping for a fantastic fight, which I just don't think is ever going to come though.
Yeah, you just have that technology gap. These ladder cannons, they're really short. They don't do really a lot of damage. They to area of effect is basically a grenadier on wheels, you know, with a little bit more range.
I disagree with that. They are pretty strong. They're strong for their cost. I mean, they mainly cost food as well, and they have a triple versus infantry. So, yeah, they won't have enough damage to one-shot kill. And Arquebus here just about, leaving it with 4 HP remaining. But en masse, lever cannons do some great damage, and that's like, if you have enough infantry to do the Manchu, the Hussars pin the remaining units, lever cannons will do a lot of damage from behind, and a batch of 5 coming out now. The only thing really Carbone can do is like kind of back, because he can't reach the lever cannons just yet. If Carbone pulls them, keeps kiting with the lever cannons, he can't actually reach the lever cannons in this situation. Minutemen being called out, and Carbone going deep with those Changdaos. Does manage to get a couple onto Flying Crow, unpacking onto the lever cannons, closing the distance. That's what's going to kill the lever cannons. Skirmishers do some good damage behind, but a decent defensive pop of Hussars will get on top of Skirmishers. Manchu count still healthy though. Those Hussars going down pretty quick. Skirms firing behind. 2 Flying Crows on the field. All the lever cannons picked off because they were in range of the Flying Crow. And quite a static fight here from Chefsudiste. Not ideal, actually, letting that Flying Crow get into play. And calling the GG there. Carbone taking the victory, leads the series 3-2 after game number 5 and getting the big victory there with the Chinese. Chef going for a delayed H2 play, and although it looked promising with his early engagements, just his units were out-teched, and Carbone with the strong Manchurian cavalry archers kind of forced Chef into a choke point against the trading post. And that was enough for Carbone to kind of edge ahead of this game and then eventually snowball that into victory.
Damn, yeah, and the micro from Carbone at that last fight, not to greet with his Flying Crows onto the Carolians, but to actually snipe these ladder cannons. As you said, there were 5 ladder cannons there. They were dealing some decent damage, but yeah, it was just the Flying Crow just sniped the ladder cannons, and that was that. Game-ending fight at the base of Chefsudiste, and it feels like he fell into the same trap this game. You know, he didn't age up. He couldn't age up, even though he had a lot of income through his Torp economy. He had a healthy amount of villagers. Yeah, did he make too much Hussars, or where did he go wrong here?
Well, from Chef, he just stayed in stage H2 too long. That was ultimately his problem. He had the economy. He had a better economy than China, but you can get to a point that you might have a triple the economy of another civ, but if your units just can't compete, you're kind of getting resources and just throwing them at the wall. There's an opportunity for Chef, if he did get to the 3rd H2, then research veteran Caroline, send in platoon fire, and then, wow, at that point, you've instantaneously got much stronger musketeers. You've got the 2 falconets. Did you see how many infantry from Carbone were close formation? They would have ripped through the intervention musketeers. So it's a kind of a bit of a pattern here from Chef that for civs he's not fully familiar with. He's quite happy to get to the 2nd age and then just kind of stay there en masse and hope that takes a fantastic fight and gets a winning position from that. Because if you go for that strategy and you don't get domination from stage H2, then you've got no fallback option. You can't pivot your way out into another age up, and it's a bit of a tough situation.
Yeah, really, we see a repeat of circumstances from the game 4. Carbone on match point. Who would have thought? Will he complete the reverse sweep here, sweeping Mr. Chefsudiste? I'm excited for our next game, and yeah, I mean,
No, not really. Let's move on to the next one.
we can go on to the next game. And yeah, we have Manchuria on the menu. So we're going back to the homeland of those Manchu archers. And yeah, I believe Manchuria has a livestock. It has a little bit of water play. It has a trade post line in the northwestern part of the map. So really, we have a hybrid map yet again. What would you recommend here, Harrison? Going for the trade post strategy or going for the water here? I think there's 3 whales in the water, so maybe that might be worth.
I think you can play Manchuria without going stagecoach or going water. There are options for yourself to kind of move into either of those options, but I don't think they are necessary to compete on the map. We could see a USA style civ sitting base with outlaw spam, and maybe could do some Chinese immigrants. We haven't quite seen any of the classic S tier civs that we've been theory crafting as a community. We haven't seen the Aztec yet. No Mexico, no USA. We've seen a little bit of Brits. Carbone getting the victory there. Chef hasn't picked up the Brits, and actually going for the Spanish. Carbone going for Japan, and I mean, what a way to win the tournament if you do win the series if you get a victory as Japan in this matchup. But I would not want to be Carbone right now.
I feel like this is a pretty good map for Japan, honestly. Just because of your livestock, you can also go with your Portuguese consulate here to get those fishing boat shipments. You can also ship, the fishing boat deck, and you can also go for the fishing boat shipment. So you'll have a very healthy early economy as Japan. But yeah, maybe Carbone has something else up his sleeve. Who will tell? So we're loading into the map, and I'm excited. I like Japan, so I'm curious if they will take a win here over Spanish, which is it's one of the vanilla civs. They have a big XP curve. They have their dogs. The Spanish, they are quite good civ, wouldn't you say, Harrison?
I've just attempted to chat with a Harrison sitting on stream shirtless for a $50 donation, and I think people are going to be doing a little bit of a whip around here, $1 each. I mean, we do have quite a few viewers, 319 currently on the Twitch, and probably a couple more on YouTube together. If you'll whip around $1, well, I might even get the Scooby-Doo outfit once, get the cat involved, maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Scooby-Doo outfit? Damn.
I got a Scooby-Doo outfit. Yeah, man. Are you jealous? Are you jealous?
That sounds like something very, very interesting. And guys, you heard it here first. If we have a $350 donation, Harrison will go around with his Scooby-Doo outfit. So maybe we can make that extra stream goal. Who knows? Hopefully we see some other dogs on the map, because we're playing Spanish today. And Chefsudiste, he has something to make up now. I think, with Spain, he should be able to reach H3 normally, right? He's not gonna be stuck in H2 this game. Or how do you see it, Harry?
Well, from Chef, well, I mean, Spain's a type of civ which can go to the Fortress Age in every single game, in every single matchup. So I would like to expect that too. We have seen some Optimus Prime magic of staying H2 with Spain for a little bit longer than normal, than using the House of Transmutara cards to get up to the 3rd age with the reduced cost and faster age up. I just don't see that really being the play versus a civ like Japan, who likes to scale, who struggle with fast fortress timings. It feels only natural that the play from Chef should be kind of classic Roblox builds. We're talking about 3-ville capitalism, market down in transition, Big Eliza dropping down a $10 donation. Very kind. We are on our way to getting Harrison shirts on stream, but you only need a little bit more than that, I feel. We
You
With
got
the
to
mark-
know your word, Harrison. Come on, 10 euros for your nipples. That's a little bit on the low side. We want the big numbers.
I didn't necessarily specify as a community. I said maybe like from a singular, like Oliver's. Maybe I might give him a private one-on-one show later if Ollie drops a 50. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that comes along as the donations continue to come in. We thank you for any and every donation. Even the small donations help us out. A little bit from many people goes a long way. Brian coming down here from Carbone. Yeah, so what I was saying with the chef and the robot build in particular is you take the mid-map control with your outpost on the age up. You have the tower there. You drop down a mid-map barracks. You train musketeers in transition, and on the age up to the third age, you research your veteran musketeers. You send in your falconets, and you put the chef under pressure. We've seen time again so far this series, but when you put chef under pressure, he actually makes mistakes. You can force a mistake from him. He is not as a impeccable player as some people may like to think, and that is a way for Carbone to kind of and it's a way for Chef to play. I've got the players mixed up. Anyway, that's what I think Chef should do. I don't really think Chef's mainly a Spain player, so we'll have to see what his intake on this Civ is.
Well, he's starting up with the capitalism. Oh no, that's already his second shipment of the game. My God, these Spanish shipments, they fly in. So 3 villagers start, followed up with capitalism, and it's 2 minutes 50, and he's already aging up to H2. So very nice start from Chef. I'm wondering about Carbone's deck, man. I want to see this Japanese deck, and I want to see them fishing boats, and he does have the boats. And he shipped them one time already, so I'm loving this build, and I believe he also has Portuguese consulate in his base, so he should have a cheaper age up. He's already making his wonder, and he doesn't have the Portuguese consulate. That's a shame.
It is. It's not. I mean, it is because it's a nice build to spectate, but actually Portuguese consulate is slow. It's not method defined. You miss out on the XP of the Torii gates. Quite often you see players pairing up the Portuguese consulate with the Tushogo Shrine. But versus Spain, Spain are known for heavy infantry, for spamming musks, for aging up with tempo. You can't really shrine the map. It's quite a narrow map, Manchuria. So everything so far is screaming Japan to go Torii gates. Maybe Ashi Nagi spam H2 and kind of overwhelm Spain that way. But the Torii gates is absolutely insane. 1.6 multiplier on all XP, generation, combat, anything, and that's what drives the economy, which drives the shipments. It's so good.
Yeah, the consulate is going up in the back. Chefsudiste putting his tower again very close to his base. That feels a little bit reluctant yet again. Maybe he should put it a little bit more forward, so as a forward shipment point.
Because if you look in the middle map right now, you'll see a lone samurai crossing the map with high. See, no, not that one. That one. There you go. And that's looking for the tower. It's looking for the foundation where it will do a massive 240 siege damage per volley due to the 60 times by 4 on the foundation. So, Chef has been kind of somewhat forced to go defensive, but I don't think it's going to overly affect Chef too much. I think it's just nice to know that actually this is gonna. He's got away. He's able to age up behind, and if anything, what he wants to try and do is limit the amount of XP he gives to Carbone. Carbone picking up 72 there versus for the Explorer kill, and that is the Torii gates in full effect.
That's juicy. That is very juicy. He is going for the 5 shrine wagons, and he went with the Dutch consulate to go for the bank start. So the bank wagon is also a very good start for Japan. And now he's starting to make some Ashigaru himself. So he probably wants to match the later musketeers from Chefsudiste with his own musketeers now. I like these Ashigaru, man. They're so fast. They feel also so fast. Even it's just a little bit more faster than a normal musketeer. They just zoom over the map. And he's trying to siege down the trade post from Chefsudiste, which is smart because, as you said, that XP multiplier. That is gonna give him a lot of XP once this trade post has been sieged down. Shipping 5 fishing boats now. So yeah, Carbone going for a semi-aquatic economy, and it's also an economy that can't be rated by anything Chefsudiste has, because I don't believe he has some ships in his deck. So Chef is going for purely land this game. So yeah, let's see if it pays off in the end for Carbone. He will, however, siege down the trading post just after the merchant has passed, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chef on the way up. Musk's in queue. Only the 5 at the moment. A little bit slow in getting these units out. He does have the market down. He's aged up 1 Vil early. He's gone for a 17 Vil age up. He's aged up the town centre wagon. And that explains the defensive outpost as well to kind of cover up or cover for this TC wagon. It's not the most go-to strategy going for the TC wagon as Spain. The problem is 2 TC boom with Spain is it's just less good for anything Japan can do. Japan can outscale you harder. But if Chef enjoys going late game, that kind of brings him back into his skill set, which is kind of late H3, many villagers, all this experience with the Portuguese. Chef will feel at home. 2 Falcons coming in, and once the vet musks arrive and more musketeers have hit the field, he's at least going to try and push out and tear down some of these shrines.
Yeah, it also feels like if you're going greedy against Japan, you're really giving them a chance to overcome their worst phase of the game, which is the early game with Japan. Once that economy starts rolling, he's on 9 shrines now. I think he has 8 fishing boats. That economy can become scary. No, he has 13 fishing boats. He actually sent the 5 fishing boats twice. So 37 villages for Japan now, and that economy is gonna start to be scary. He has some Naginata riders to try to deal with the Falconets, but Chef's micro with the Falconets has to be impeccable. Otherwise, he will lose this game, I feel like.
Big Camfor donating $20 US. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much. All donations are very much appreciated and helping the total prize pool for our next tournament and maybe this tournament as well. And yeah, that's very good. I think this game we're up to about 30, aren't we? We're up to 30, and Oliveza is getting super excited already. This could be the first nipple he's ever seen in his life. The lonely boy he is. But we'll have to find out if we cross that line for that one. Spanish gold here for Spain? Question mark. I know he's pushing aggressive with Musk Falk, but I want to see how Spain's following this up. He actually has sent in. Has he sent in? I think he has sent in Spanish gold. His population caps are quite hard to see. Ashin's flank on the right, Cav left. Take off the mini map of the home city, and Nagy's on the Falk. And the problem is when you push out with 15 Musks, you just don't have enough stuff to body block, and it's quite awkward for the Falcons go down way before any of the Musks do. Nagy's for a hit and run, and Chef needs to get out of here. Yes, he has veteran musketeers, but there's so many units here from Japan. He needs to kind of get out, and yes, he's going to follow up with some skirmishers, and that will help deal with the Ashy count. A bit of an unfortunate trade there for Chef. He was hoping to get more done with that, and Carbone is kind of pulling the Chefsudiste here. He's actually staying late age 2, massing up many units to hold out. But I feel, unlike previous games, Carbone has a way of getting to the next stage, sending in 600 coin. Once again, all his villagers are currently on the food. He may need to send in 2 cherry orchards at some point, but I think Carbone has earned himself the right to age at this point.
Yeah, and also he has a lot of his economy on the water, so that's also helping him not to have to send those cherry orchards right away. Maybe he will go with that spy wonder that he can just get the cherry orchards from the age up, but probably he will age up with the what's it called? The shogunate. The golden pavilion? Yeah. Okay.
That's what I expect. Yeah, there you go. There's the golden pavilion right there. The Shogun's interesting. It's a good wonder. It plays better in the fourth age, but you can kind of tie it with some really advanced Spanish concert strategies if you want to be very special with your gameplay. But basically, golden pavilion is just like sensible, safe, makes good sense, and is not a poor play. Again, Lance is engaging in the Ashigarus, and gotta remember, Carbone's aging at this point, and he's been pinned down. All he's units at 82. Their Vetmark is behind it. 10 skirmishes as well. These are fantastic units to deal with the Ashes. You see the Ashes are trying their best to get as far away as possible when they do not want to fight. And this is the right choice for Carbone. The age up is coming. It's nearly into us, and that will give him 7 Yumi Archers on the age up. Maybe it's time for Minutemen as well. Ashes in queue. We have Rashida Principal, which is, I believe it's extra batches from your building.
Yeah.
Chef is gonna back out before he gets trapped in Carbone's base, and you've got to remember he's still on TTCs, and the game continues, and both players' economy is looking pretty decent.
Yeah, I like the play here from Chefsudiste too. He's not afraid to make some Scooby-Doos to just snare down these Ashigarus, but he backed off at the right time. Yeah, Chef really booming his 2 TC playstyle. Carbone is on 1 TC. He also doesn't have a dock. He doesn't have those fishing upgrades yet. But it seems like he wants to transition into Yumis. He's getting the upgrade for the Yumis also, I believe. So disciplined Ashigaru was in. Disciplined Yumi is coming in. Really trying to mix his units up. He still has a stable, so maybe he will also mix in some Yabusame later on. Who might tell? They are pretty good against enemy artillery. We didn't see anybody take the trade post yet, which is also a little bit surprising to me. Carbone now rocking that 140 pop, so that's 13 shrines. That's not bad at all. And as you rightfully predicted, he is shipping the 2 cherry orchard shipments. Now double rexing his Yumis, so I think he's gonna try to fight it out with the Yumis. The Yumis, they trade well into skirmishers and into musketeers and into rods until they get snared, of course. Then they are fucked up.
Excuse me, that language there. Manikiko does not mean that he means fudged up, don't you, Manikiko?
Yeah. It's just my accent. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
I think there was a trend post at the start of the game. It was just that Carbone seized down with the samurai and a couple of ashes, and it was unable to hold on to it. Yeah. Geek saying, "Oh my god, there's an ad in 3 minutes time," and Jeff and Carbone slowly meet each other in the battlefield. But Carbone is walking away back to base. Who knows? Maybe the ad will save him. Maybe in that time he will spawn the tuck truck and run over Chef's army, and nobody there be able to see it to believe it.
But yeah, Carbone keeps on massing these Yumis, and I feel like that's a smart play. He has a lot of Ashigarus in reserve, so Yumis versus skirmisher war now. Chef doesn't really fancy those trades. He is kiting back, he is shooting back to the Yumis, but yeah, in the end of the day, the Yumis will outdamage the skirmishers. So now also getting the extended range card for the Yumis, Way of the Bow. But I think he has to be afraid if Chef doesn't switch it up with, for example, a Rodolero mass or with some Lancers.
I don't really know what the Rodolero is here for Chef. I know he sent them in from the shipment, but they're not really adding too much to this composition. Both armies are begging to add in an artillery foundry for flaming arrows and or falconets or culverins. But I think if the armies stay like this, then surely Japan, with their Yumi Archer, with their Japan Consulate, Yumi Techs, they should be able to outdamage Spain quite considerably. Spain have no bonuses for their Skirm or Musk in Age 3. Maybe, was it the Age 1 missionary card, Unction, could provide extra bonuses, but unless it's in, these Skirms are very vanilla in terms of stats, and they're getting ripped apart by the Yumi Archers.
And I just want to say Buenos Nuevos Yeros, because it's a marvelous new year for Spain. The economy is boosted up for 6 minutes. So maybe that will carry Chefsudiste economy to close the gap a little bit with the Japanese economy. The score is closing in, even though he's losing on the front line. And he's still massing these skirmishers. I don't believe that will be the answer to his problem here, which is he has to get a way to deal with these Yumi archers here, because, yeah, as you rightfully said, those Yumi archers, they are carded, and they are just shredding the skirmishers. We see some shinobis hiding in the top of the map. Maybe they will play a role later on in this game. That's maybe some subtle foreshadowing, who knows? But yeah, for now, the Yumis are happy to trade with the skirmishers. And yeah, Chef, you have to mix it up a little bit. We need some other units. Finally, he's adding a Falconet in queue. Also, he's making a Caravel, so trying to disrupt the water economy of Carbone. Maybe he just spotted it now, but yeah, he has to do something. He's also queuing up 5 boats behind that. So yeah, maybe Chef will take control of the water here. Let's see what will happen.
We could get some yaks from the Tengri Shrine. That could be a nice way to get just a little bit of extra food. It's a bit of a last resort, though. You need to have some meals at some point. You need to get that infrastructure down for your late game economy. If you have no land resources, then you do need that transition. You've got to try and work on killing some of the shrines to the north side to allow him to get there. But look at this army position from Carbone moving down to the southern side, looking to surround and trap Chefsudiste. And you got to remember there's some Shinobi Monoas there as well. They could snare. This is match point. If Carbone's 3-2 up, and Chef cannot afford to lose units like this, attempting to siege shrines, and this is a catastrophic cock-up here from the Chef. So many Rodos going down. Pardon my French language, but that was deserved. Chef has just given away units hand over fist. This is his last chance to loon, and will respond with 2 Falconet plays, skirmishers on the right-hand side, more skirmishers being trained, more Falcons being in queue, and is Carbone himself also now getting stuck in the corner. Those Falconets here from Chefsudiste could be, actually, the biggest brain play of the day so far.
Ooh, and we see Carbone trying to find a way out of this corner, but now his Yumis are just tanking these Falconet hits. He has 3 Yabusame, and they do manage to kill a Falconet, which is
they're sniping.
good.
The Yabusams are sniping down the Falcons, and without the Falcons now gone, Yumi Archers will dominate this fight. There's more Falconets coming, but surely there'll be more Yabusams or Nagis cross map at some point. Yeah, there's the 2 Falconets, more skirms behind, but the Musketeer line is gone. There's really no anti-cavalry here, and that might prompt Carbone into going for a cavalry response. 2 Falconets unpack. But Carbone's backing off. What's up with the water? Did that Caravel spawn in the end and push back the water? He's just kind of lost in the open sea, unsure what to do, enjoying the Manchurian water, just sightseeing, just a nice little trip. Okay, now he's got his targets and going to acquire that. But Yabusam anti-ship? No, surely not. No, he's just wrapping around trying to find some leftover Falconets.
I was also looking at their multipliers, like, do they have a multiplier against ships? That would be big brains, but no, unfortunately not.
Carbone's getting a batch of 9, maybe 10 Yabusams. Oh, how do you afford a batch of 9 Yabusams? He's just going to go straight in now. That is such a huge army behind. He did send in, I think it was Inyo Rush, maybe Yabusam attack as well. He's looking for. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm just chatting below. Oh, Oh, pardon, it was Yumi Archer attack, age 2. Still, good card though, 20% on the Yumi Archers.
Great card.
And that's
Especially when they have that range, man. We already saw them shredding apart the Spanish army, but now even with extra damage, also upgrading his Yabusame, so really getting a carded archer and a carded Cav archer, and yeah, not any Cav archer. These are the Yabusames, special Cav archers from Japan.
Yeah.
Sniping anything that's in front of them, and man, it's looking rough for Chef. His marvelous year is also almost ended. He has to come with a big answer here.
The one thing I would say about the marvelous year for Spain is that yes, it boosts your gathering rate, but also boosts your training rate, and he has 2 town centers, so he's up to a really healthy 75 villagers, maybe 70 plus a couple of fishing boats. That's good to see. So yeah, although his position is awkward, with good play can come out on top. But actually, talking about good play, it's Carbone going for another raid, and those Yabusam's probably going to melee, get some snare. Yeah, I do see some melee play, and that large batch Yabusam's following up behind. Oh, there's no, I don't see any way how Carbone deals this army. He's on ranged infantry attack, so all those Yumi and Ashes real strong behind. A couple of those vills from Chef Hours. 3, 4. There's a 4 Falcon batch there from the Chef, but in the face of that many Cav archers, that is risky to say the least. And if Carbone really wanted to boost those Cav archers anymore, well, there's the Tengri Shrine. He can definitely increase the rate of fire of those guys from the native techs.
Yeah, you could also get those yaks you were talking about earlier. Maybe put them on the shrines he didn't use yet. But I think we're getting a big fight now. Let's look over to the fight. So the Yumis are shredding 4 Falconets, delivering a huge volley. But look at this Yabusame. They just melting these Falconets, and one by one. And
actually,
on
the back line as well.
All
and it's
gone.
Going. Yeah, it's sad.
Oh my days.
I cannot believe what I'm watching, because I priced in Chef to beat Carbone 4-1. I thought Chef is a fantastic, but Carbone is showing us that the Nilla clan is here for business. They are not pushovers, and Carbone is waltzing through with Yumi Archer Yabusam, and Chef is down to 100 population, barely any units. Carbone must be 150 plus, but these are all carded units, carded Yumis, carded Yabusams, stronger economy. And Chef's on the back line fighting for his tournament life.
Damn. Andy, thank you for the Prime sub 2 months in a row. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting the channel and supporting Age of Empire 3 content. We are hyped. And damn, these Yumis, man. Look at the amount of Yumis. Why doesn't Chef have a stable to make some of these Lancers, man? I feel like if he has a huge batch of Lancers that could connect, he could really sweep up this army. But yeah, of course, Carbone has a huge mass of Yabusames to cover, but still. Another 4 cannons coming out, but look at the amount of Yabusames that are coming over the horizon here. They will just melt this army, and Carbone just face tanking these 4 Falconets. They do a huge amount of damage, but
if only Carbone could split fire his Yabusams, they'd have gone down so much quicker and saved so many Yumi Archers' lives. Nagis would be so good at this point, but I just think actually you can't just keep on training Falconets in this situation. And yeah, even now Ville's under pressure, going down. Chef has a card, but nothing useful to send behind, and the score lead now drastically in favour of Carbone onto the economy as well. Villagers away. I'm sure they had the great coach, but doesn't matter. Chef has tapped out, and Carbone is victorious. Has taken the 6th game, wins the series 4-2, moves on to the round of 16, and the Chef, who a lot of people appreciate, is an absolutely incredible Portuguese player, has been dumped out by a lower seeds. This is a result we're not expecting. Surely the first upset of the tournament.
Wow, what a reverse sweep by Carbone, man. Harrison, you bring luck to this guy, man. You started casting and he starts playing. He starts just winning every game, man. How do you do that, man? Incredible, incredible.
That's a good point, actually. Maybe the presence of the gatekeeper is good luck for everybody, and a big follow
Oh.
there from Rock and Eagle as well. I'm with $30 in. You know what happens at 50? Can we get there?
We
Ooh.
saw some Scooby
I
Doo's
might.
in the game. Will we see the
Um,
Scooby Doo's live?
Yeah, but I might have to go now. It's the classic. You know, I've reached the time, and we'll have to fundraise for the shirtless stream another day. Then I guess.
Oh, unfortunately. That's
So the next series is going to be Soldier versus Minimal. That will be starting in about 2 hours' time, I believe, for a 17 GMT question mark
16. So that's in
1 hour
1
time.
hour.
1 hour time.
Ooh.
53 minutes time. Excellent. So what should we do for 53 minutes? I reckon we should play Time to Micro over and over and over and over and over again. Oh,
Yeah, maybe we
big.
should.
The big cat for donating $20. And my name's Harrison. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Cheers, boys. I mean, come on. On my yearly review, be like, Harrison, yeah, good caster, engages the chat. Biggest fundraiser for ESOC by a country mile. Like,
Damn. You sure know how to tickle these donators, man. They got awfully baited.
they haven't seen anything yet. Once they see my actual tits, they'll lose their minds. You know how strippers dance and people aimlessly throw money. Like this is gonna earn ESOC like $250 plus. Show us those man titties. Well, at the moment, I'm still looking at the victory is yours sign. So I'm currently swinging my titties left and right, but you're missing out on the action. And maybe tactical ad break from Geeks. Please get an ad in there. Cover me. Yeah, home screen.
Yeah, maybe we can get one of the players for a quick interview.
I barely even remember what the games were like, to be honest. Barely remember.
But I see Carbone said he's off. Yeah, he must be burned out after a huge series, 6 games, and my guy had to pull out. He had to reach in the depth of his courage to take the reverse sweep here, and he did it, man. He advances to the next round. Who is this next opponent, Harrison? I'm not sure. I have to take a look at the bracket.
I don't know. I wasn't paying. Mahonga's pinned the message. Let's see those man titties, and maybe just these puppies might have to stay behind for another couple of days. Oh, beautiful. The problem is I haven't been to the gym for like a couple of weeks now, so there is no pump in them at the moment. It's just a bit of a sad sight.
It's okay, man. We keep going to the gym. We keep improving, just like Age of Empires 3, man. You can't beat anybody in H1. We're still in early game, man, and we're gonna improve.
I am the forever gatekeeper, though. So just imagine if you got the rank of the gatekeeper in the gym. How bad would that be? Like, you just go in, lift the same weights day in, day out, year in, year out. That would be disappointing.
But yeah, I mean, the improvement is also in the, how do you say it? You keep coming back to the same point. You don't degrade in your level. You stagnate in your level. So that's also improvement, man. Because you're getting older too. You're not getting younger. You're not getting stronger. You have to work for it, man. But anyway, we're not having an interview, unfortunately. Carbone is leaving. Chef, I didn't hear him, but I bet he's also not excited to come talk for now. But anyway, I had a very entertaining series, and Thank you, Harrison, for casting with me. Thank you, Shake, for casting the first 2 games too. I had a really good time, and I'm curious, Harrison, when do you have to cast your next game? Is that tomorrow?
I don't know. I mean, I was planning to cast a series tomorrow, but I'm just looking in the our Discord, and Big Boy Shake has abandoned the next series, so we'll have to work out how we're going to get around this one. Who's meant to be doing the next series anyway? We'll have to find out.
Baron and Shake.
Big Boy Baron. Right, people in the chat, there's a little lost puppy called Baron, and he needs an experienced person to cast alongside him for the biggest series of the round of 32. Big mini-mop, big soldier. You cannot turn down an opportunity like this. Otherwise, I'm sure somebody will will step in for that one. I mean, worst comes to worst, it could be me, but
I was just gonna say, man, you are the expert at hand right there. You have some other plans today still?
No. Well, so maybe watch the Bahrain Grand Prix qualifying or go out for a run. Because this morning I was doing some music with the Army Reserves. I saw my granddad for a little bit, and I come back, casted the game. So yeah, the morning, the daytime's flown by quite fast actually, and yeah. Other than that, I guess the afternoon could be rewritten with a monstrous series between a mini-malt and a soldier.
I mean, if you're not gonna cast, you're gonna watch it for sure, right? It's a big series. Big soldier, big mini-malt.
Did Lopside Fluff beat King Boswin 4-0? The fuck?
No.
Ah. Fucking Oliveza in chat. Yeah, no Man City's for you, Oliveza. You just look in the mirror. You got your own pair there. God damn it, baiting me. Yeah,
the bait king gets baited.
Sensei with the anti-Harrison banter once again. Love you too, my friend. Right. Regardless, maybe I can do both. We're off now until the come back fresh-eyed and ready to go for the next series in 45 minutes. I think that's the plan.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna watch from home, guys. I'm gonna be a viewer from now on. So let's support our casters. Let's support our players, and I hope to see you guys in a small little hour. So see you then.
Well, see you guys in a bit. Take care. Bye bye.